What's up, everybody? This is the poker.
My approach to poker is about getting every advantage you can, and the triple threat accounts for 3 of the 5.
Thank you, Chris. What's up, Chris? So I want to look at the new beta pre-flop trainer from Pre-flop Academy. So I started to play with a little bit with it. So here we are. We're gonna be offered like final table spots, and we get to decide whether we call, fold, raise. I think I'm either going all in or calling here, so I'm gonna try to call pure fold. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's surprising. So we wanna fold hands like ace ten suited. It says
Basically,
here it's
suited is
multi-way.
raising some.
Ah, okay, I see. It's because the cutoff went all in, I think.
Yeah, it's multi-way first low jack and cutoff.
Ah, I missed that.
Okay, I got it set up now.
Okay, I would fold here. What about you guys? We only have a couple of seconds.
Total
Oh.
fold.
Oh no, we're fine. We're fine. It's just pressuring us a little bit. I would fold here or go all in. No, 40 big blinds too much. Just fold.
Yeah, snap fold. Risk, like other people can get knocked out, high collision events.
80% raise.
Whoa.
Do you know what they use as underlying software to get these ranges? Is that
No.
Microsoft?
Yes, it's ICM. It has to be multi solver because many of these are multi-way.
Yeah, as long as they don't use isomizer, then
Should we go for a little three bet here? Let's give it
let's
a
see.
try.
Oh, we are still 40 deep, so yeah, we can.
Of course, now it's more of a fold.
Yeah, you have. No. I don't know
Okay,
if,
so I guess our opponents are earlier position, so we need to be more.
and they are
cautious.
big stacked, bigger stacked than us.
Oh, yeah, as well. Alright,
Maybe you have to watch on that also a bit.
what do you guys do here?
I raise.
You two big blinds?
Yep. This is
Okay.
a raise fold hand. For me.
I'm gonna go all in.
Ooh, I think that's too.
Yeah, I'm going all in too.
Alright, all in.
It's
Yeah,
a
you-
king 4, king 3, king deuce. It's close.
Yeah, you have a relevant blocker and everyone's equal stack, same risk premium.
That's true.
I think we should call. Anybody
No.
calling?
Yeah, I don't think we can fold a
9 deuce we can fold. Huh? I mean, it's the worst.
suited hand.
Yeah, it's a call.
Let's see. We fold. We are medium stacked.
Yeah, two big stacks, right?
Yeah.
And then the other big stack left to act.
You have to wait for the other one to.
Wow, look at how tight
Burst.
you need to play. here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
And-
Yeah,
It's
Jam.
a big difference if the other stacks are big or not.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a little bit of this and then we're gonna jump on James and Desiree.
Is this still in the free version, Louis, or is this the paid one already?
This is the free version, so you guys should check it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is very useful indeed. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm more interested in ICM spots than the other spots. I mean,
yeah. 4-bet jam. Or fold,
Fold.
fold?
There's a 6 big blind stack.
Oh my goodness, yeah, bad risk premium, yeah, two short stacks.
you either raise them all in or fold.
Oh my goodness.
We are bigger stacked than him.
4-bet jamming, yeah,
Yeah, we are bigger stacked than we have an ace.
that was my guess, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know that I would even, well, maybe you open
I
that.
wouldn't do it, but
I,
I wouldn't do that live, but online might be okay.
ooh,
if they are playing ICM well, then you should. But
open ripping, okay.
Yeah, it's equal stack, so. yeah.
17 big blinds, open ripping. I'm not used to this kind of strategy. Like. I
It's
said,
only a small portion of your range, that is open ripping.
yeah,
That's-
but Acevedo has exactly this. In general, like from the low jack, the maximum open push you can do is like 15 big blinds. But this is not ICM, right?
It's not ICM.
Yeah. No. Well, I guess we push, alright? Oh,
Yes,
Mark McLovin.
You have also to look at
What's going on, man?
what
Hey,
EV is.
What's up, my friend? How's it going?
Very
This
all
is
right,
the
man, it's all
final
right.
table ICM trainer.
wonderful. I'm looking to trying to get in here when I can and join you boys.
Yes,
Please
sir.
continue.
Yeah, the big stack, so we can call, I think.
We can go all in, you mean, or?
Yeah, we can call, we can go all in.
I don't
price
think,
here is amazing, isn't it?
Yes, there's another big stack, so I don't think we can go all
I
in.
think a raise.
yeah, raise seems fine, right? Let's try. Oh my goodness, it was all in.
Wow.
Can you check the EV, Louis, on the left side? Is that still possible there?
Yes, if you look
How
here,
much EV is it?
if you look here. It
14.
returns 14 chips. And aces return 4, so we should probably gun for 0.4. Do we have any jams that are 0.4? Ace jack, okay. What about ace 5? Oh,
If we
ace
jam
five.
ourselves, that's, I think, okay. I mean, to go for lower EV than 10%.
Yeah, okay, so
Call, then,
I see jam here. Oh, there we go. So 10 hands. Pretty sweet. Can we have 10 more hands? Or no? Yeah, we can. Can we? Oh no, don't want mixed. Just want ICM. Yeah, so I guess 10 hands per day. That's the limit with the free version, but it's better than nothing. Although this thing is extremely pricey, honestly. I'm looking at it and it's 800 euros per year.
What?
Yikes.
It's extremely expensive, honestly, and then like it's only 76 ICM situations. I was thinking about just you know, with
Yeah, but you get
HRC.
also the other situations, don't you? Or
Yeah, no, it's just you get like it's 21.8 max, 35.6 max, blah blah blah, and so on. It's a bit expensive. And like you know,
Are there other programs out there that do three-way pre-flop drills like this though?
yeah, there's pre-flop ninja, but pre-flop ninja isn't like doing much ICM.
but there are a lot of tools that do pre-flop drills, I think.
Monkerware.
I'm not familiar with it.
GTO Wizard, you can do pre-flop drills, I think.
What was that called?
GTO Wizard.
Okay.
Shout out to Ken who ran pretty deep yesterday in the 33 moss.
But
We
you have to
all-
look around and see what best suits you if you want to go for it.
Yeah. I
Thanks,
would
LP.
call-
There
I
are a
would
lot of
call
different
here.
tools available.
Oh my gosh.
What do you guys wanna do here?
Jack
I mean,
5.
calling seems straightforward.
3 players left,
you-
that's not a lot of ICM, so we can call.
This
Okay,
is
Yeah, I think it's straight
ICM.
by call.
final table here.
I would fold.
Yeah, we can call, it's 3
Yeah.
players.
Pure call.
I think it's a little too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reasonable call.
Oh, Chippy V.
I could see ripping this, couldn't you?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, 20
Oh.
bigs,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean-
Yeah, okay.
I mean, do you want to flat this multi-way?
No.
What?
No,
You wanna fold it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
With 2 players in the hand with this.
Oh
stack
my
up.
god, you guys are ripping king, queen, king, jack off there?
I fold.
Yeah, we have to
Oh
do a
my-
little spicy move before you.
Oh my
And
god.
I just said you
Don't
wanted
look
it in the
there.
chat, in the general Discord.
What?
I just called you a nit that y'all on Discord. What was I thinking?
Oh, I don't know. So we had a similar spot like this yesterday.
I would call.
Yeah, you'd call. I'm going all in.
Is
I
this
think
ICM or not?
It's a high collision event. It's a chance to move up at the final table. You can fold this.
Yeah,
I-
that's kind of the argument for folding. I do agree with
You can
that.
flop the nuts. You gotta put one big blind in to win 2, 4, 6, 8 plus addies, 9.5.
I think
Or
it's not
6,
gonna
8.
work.
It's less than 1 in 20 that you flop the nuts, huh?
Well, I mean, you can flop good enough to even maybe peel to get to the turn, so.
Yeah,
you flop a-
player.
You flop
Do
a
you
combo
wanna call
draw.
here, Ken?
you
I'm
flop
Closing
a-
action is
flop a
okay to
flush
call.
draw.
Okay, I'm going all in, but we will call.
No,
I think
call.
all is a little excessive.
Oh my goodness.
Fold.
Yes,
Oh,
it was.
wow.
You wanna
Man.
use suited kings? Oh my god, I'd rather use my suited ace.
Yeah,
That's
but the kings,
insane.
look at the EV.
King 5.
I
Oh,
guess
yeah,
that, you know why this probably is? Because if an ace comes, we don't wanna keep putting chips in if we don't have the flush. Or like aces up with the 8. So when an ace
All
comes, we
in
can make
doesn't
the nut
matter.
flush with the king. And stay in the hand.
We go all in, Ken, so it doesn't matter.
Ace
It
8
probably
call.
is because they're
the flop
dominated
is
less.
doesn't
Like
matter.
when we get called, ace 8 is up against ace king, ace queen, but king X is often like king 10 is okay to be up against ace queen, for example.
Yeah, but that's kind of.
It's zero EV almost, so just fold those hands. I mean,
So notice how we don't really have much of a calling range here, folding hands like king, jack, queen, jack suited, ace 10 suited, ace, jack off.
yeah, but look at the range of under the gun of a low jack. What is it?
Should be
I think it's really
very
interesting.
Yeah,
The low jack range is so tight, Louis. That
oh yeah, I believe it. Oh, chippy V. Open. 3-bet. Okay, well, sometimes you have to look at your opponent in the eye and say, well,
all in.
I'm
Fold.
all in. I'm all in.
Fold!
Otherwise, you can just
I
fold.
would fold, but I think you can go all in also.
No way I'm going all in.
You guys wanna fold, really? You guys are
You're
not
50.
fun.
You're 50 big blinds deep. Fold. Lots of other hands.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Ooh.
Oh, we
Ace
wanna go
4.
with, see, one tip off here. So we
And
wanna go with ace 4 and ace
There, it's fine.
Pre-flop a caddy wants to go with ace 4 and ace 5.
5. Uh-oh,
That's a
Okay.
good bluff, I mean.
Yeah, this is easy, just fold.
I think this is just a fold.
you don't think it's a raise?
Nope.
What if he had 20?
It's ICM, and we have the big stack.
If,
Dude, the cutoff, what do you think he's flatting with? Like, he's
Yeah,
not
dude,
gonna-
cutoffs range is like kind of nutted, actually.
Yeah, dude, you're just gonna be stepping in a pile of something nasty. You're gonna have to rinse off your shoe.
and what if he
You block
was,
the aces, huh?
what if he was 20 big blinds deep?
So if we were, you know what, if we were a little deeper, we could, because if this is ICM, middle position, is put in a shitty spot, but I think it's still a fold.
Alright. It's a raise. Or
It does
Raise
raise,
them all, huh?
does raise some.
So with a big stack, I guess could just put the middle position guy in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although I'm not sure, like. Yeah, well, the chart is here, but this guy, when he calls, it's like, what is he gonna fold? We raise to like, what, 6 or 7 big blinds? Like, he has such an easy repop.
Yeah, what size were we gonna raise to?
He's got a small
Yeah, but
open
he
fold
doesn't have
range.
fold equity, Louis. Huh?
Yeah,
You raise to 6 so that the other guy, when he raises to 10, doesn't close the action and you can jam over the top, which is going to make the 30 big blind stack fold even more because we're going to be able to come back over the top again.
oh,
So
that's right, that's right.
How did
And
hijack just raise to 1.7 bigs?
Well, that's what he's up to now.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good one.
That's a good question. This
It's
is,
not a thing, is it? Isn't that, that's not a legal raise, is
No,
it?
it's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It's not a legal race, indeed.
this is,
Next hand.
Get a refund.
Hold on
Yeah,
one
exactly. Take your money off the side.
Call or
Go play on a
raise?
different site.
I'm gonna snip this. And I'm gonna post it on their Discord.
Well, you're getting a really good price. You should probably call.
You can't fold for this prize,
Yeah.
LP, how do you know if it's oh, it says final table there. That's how
They're
you know
red.
it's an
Yeah.
ICM spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Also the color.
Alright, so I'm gonna go with a raise here. What do you guys wanna do?
It seems to like raising this, but these are two big stacks, bigger than us, so we fold.
Huh?
I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
there's
think a raise is not crazy. I think it's pretty close.
yeah, it's more of a fold, two big stacks. Joss is right. We're extremely.
Okay, but I said close and you're getting in there with a sliver and it's close. All right, that's
Sure.
fine.
The big blind is also the shortest stack, so there's a decent chance that he could really shorten himself up.
Oh my goodness.
Fold.
Fold.
Yeah.
So,
We can fold a pair here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bottom of
Early
range.
position, you have a lot of
that's like
better hands.
It's
Yeah.
dead bottom of range.
bottom.
Bottom of our range, Louis.
Yeah, but bottom of the calling range.
No.
Our opening range.
Oh.
You
That's
should be
on a
folding a
fold.
lot
It's
of
very-
your opening range to a huge
it's the
jam
very
like
bottom
that.
of
You
the
don't need to
opening
call that
range.
much to clear MDF.
Okay, I didn't think we would fold a pair here.
so are we doing these drills today, Louis? Are we doing a final table?
No, we're gonna jump on the final table very soon.
I was gonna say, why don't we do like, if we weren't, we could do like a challenge thing. Somebody could do 3 hands.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Somebody
But,
step,
yeah, sure, go ahead.
oh, no, you don't have to do me.
Yeah, what do you do here?
Oh, man, you got a king blocker. It's gonna be I kinda like jamming this. It's gonna be a
Yeah, me
fold.
too. Me too.
It's gonna be a fold.
I think we saw this spot
Yeah,
already.
we just saw it.
King blocker, looks good.
Yeah,
Ace blocker.
I am very tempted just to overcall this and overfold flops, but I think it's a fold.
this is never a call.
I think the
Yeah.
deuce is too bad, but another one.
No. Like, you gotta look, give it a little credit. It's not that crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
Fair.
But I'm on team fold. I'm on team fold.
Alright. Can we abuse the system? How much abuse can it take? So. ICM only, deep start study.
So this is you got this program now?
No, this is the free version of the pre-flop academy.
Okay.
Starting to
So
look at,
what how much do you get to use on the free version?
well, we're pushing the boundaries right now.
Cool. Is
So
it mostly
far,
that you
plenty,
just study random stuff that you don't get to pick what position you're in?
Exactly, but the
Okay.
trainer usually is also very random.
Yeah, it's also not a lot of spots, and we already saw that one.
Yeah, sure. Not gonna be. Well, maybe we only had 20 hands.
Here, I can,
Or only 10 of each kind.
alright, I still got my subscription for a month. So, I mean, if you guys wanna, we can do a round of,
Let's give
Pre-flop.
like another 10 or 20 minutes and then we'll do the final table.
yeah, for sure. Do you wanna do, Odin post-flop stuff, or you wanna do ICM pre-flop stuff?
I wanna do ICM stuff. We
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
a lot of spots last night with Ken. We were sweating him and I think we all need a good old like ICM training.
Sure.
session.
Okay, so.
No, don't go for ICM. So
We've
last
changed
option,
things
yeah,
A little bit. So we wanna do ICM only.
and then deep study.
Okay.
Can you enlarge the screen a bit again?
Oh, yeah, sure, sorry. I'm gonna stop learning real quick.
Oh, it's not time sensitive, so.
Let me see, how do I just isolate a window so we
You-
can see that?
You can stop,
Just
stop share, then share again, and then instead of sharing your screen, you want to share a portion of the screen, then you're gonna be able to select it manually.
Got it, window.
Your cherry application is also possible.
Window.
Think.
Yeah.
Trojan. How come I don't see it? Chrome tab. Pre-flop Academy.
There you go.
Great.
Seems good? Yeah? Yeah, do it. And it starts on GPV.
They can't do anything, those guys.
Oh, I guess we are gonna go all in.
Yeah, Chippy V. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems okay.
Man, not in the games I play, man. This is snap fold in the games I'm playing.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
Because we
Like,
initially raised from
that
another
big blind
position.
has the stone nuts right now.
Yeah, when
No
he
shit.
does this, he's really not
Oh,
like
it's the big blind indeed that raises.
LP,
ten splash.
yeah.
I'm looking at, I'm going through a report. I just finished the hijack versus button, two-tone flop. And 2, 3, 4, two-tone. It's 100% check.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I know you're not.
So rip it next time.
Okay.
Do you want me to control your screen, Gavin?
How'd you do in that tournament, Ken?
I finished 12th.
Yeah, nice payday.
Yeah, we got a little bit unlucky at the end. We ran jack into ace queen and ace queen hit, and then we were short. So here, it's Monday morning. The code is not, hasn't.
Was that on start?
Were we calling off if the small blind went all in instead of three betting?
I don't
It was the
think
big
so.
blind.
I don't think so because we opened early position and then we were kind of 40 deep, so I don't think so.
How's it going, Louis?
Pretty good, you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so it seems like the free trainer is better.
He
Okay,
says ICM stuff. That's
it was just a little buggy wiggy. Go all in? Are there two players left to act in front of us or? Yeah, go all in. No!
I didn't understand that.
There was a short stack there, man.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, 2 to your left, there was a short stack in that last one.
Would call here.
Chippy
Yeah.
V.
Yeah, I'm not folding.
Yeah,
Oh,
calling
I'm
is
folding
fine.
this.
Yeah, this
I wanted-
flops. Wow.
It also has that same error, the 1.9 big blinds raised,
Yep. Yep.
if you want to send that to them.
Yeah, I call.
If we're folding that, we're folding
Fold.
everything, right?
Yeah,
I fold.
We're folding this.
Yeah, maybe in some games you can fold king queen suited.
Well,
I
that deep,
call.
that deep. Oh,
Call.
No,
snap it off.
there's a short stack, but like,
This
God,
one
I
I
don't wanna
call.
fold this.
It's too
Call.
good. Nine
Even
versus
with-
nine. Gotta rumble.
There's just one small stack, huh? I mean,
yeah.
Don't
There's
fold
he's
one,
not-
there's one guy with 10 bigs.
And he's not
Oh, yeah,
micro,
I-
call,
Does even on the final table? I think this is just a snap call.
call.
Yeah.
snap call.
Yeah. it's a
Yeah,
snap
I
call.
mean, you're giving equity to the other players, but fuck it, I'm not folding this.
Yeah, you're way up in the range. Go get him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And you're just dominating so much of his shoving range. He's shoving so many. so
Yeah,
much
you
ace
are.
Is
out
this
here.
chip, is this ICM?
Yeah,
yeah, it's final table.
Probably bottom of the
table.
offsuit aces though, right?
Yeah,
not
shoving
blind
the load
versus
of
blind.
aces.
Shove. Call.
if this is a fold, I'll be really surprised.
No
No,
way.
no way.
Snap it off.
He's shoving every ace here, pretty much. He should be if he's any good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What's the
Because
bottom
of
of the
all the
common
20
range?
big stacks.
this one.
I'm not sure
or
what the
ace
bottom of the
jack.
call is. This,
Ace jack.
maybe
Maybe.
ace jack.
I've
Off.
hit the, I've hit the call button.
Ace ten.
Oh, ace
Ace
10.
Wow.
Ace 10.
Ace
Wow.
8 suited.
Man,
I'm in it.
Fold.
Fold, we're
Yeah.
too
I probably
short.
fold.
It's a fold.
Still
Yeah,
could be a low
yeah.
edge one call. I
He's
mean,
because he is incentivized to gamble with you because he's the short stack, so you don't want to fuck with him.
It was amazing. Did you see what we did raise?
Yeah, it
You saw
was
the range?
very,
It
very
was
wide,
brutal.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not this.
Fold.
Fold.
Not the
He's
fourth, not the
fold.
4-3 off. This seems like a fold.
Yeah.
That one wasn't even very hard. It was, oh,
Interesting.
wow.
Oh
Oh, this is
God,
crazy. I
fold it.
fold.
Fold
I
it.
fold, but I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it,
I
but
it's a
I
hate
fold.
it, but I fold.
Nothing to hate. Easy
No,
fold.
no, easy fold, yeah. Nothing to hate.
Nope.
Not that
What?
easy.
Yeah,
but it's
look
on the cutoff, eh?
Look at the EV. It's mixing,
Look
right?
at easy.
Losing 46 chips when it calls.
Thing is, everyone's on 30 apart from one stack. So why do we want to gamble now with 10s? I don't get it.
We don't gamble. We are ahead of most of his range.
It's a really close spot. Like if we look at pocket jacks are like probably winning a lot more.
If you double up, you are the big stack,
Yeah.
and you can bully the table. So we have a good chance to get first.
Yeah, well, this hand's indifferent, so
Yeah.
it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah, I would
Yeah, I
fold.
think you can find
I
a
mean,
better spot
I still-
to double up
I still
because
fold. I mean,
everyone's
Yeah,
on a
when-
similar stack depth, right? So why
Yeah.
can't we find a better opportunity?
Yeah, when you hold 8s and 9s and 10s, you block the bottom of their range too. So that's why jacks
yeah,
are
that's
a lot
true.
better. So
I mean,
What
at the
is
moment,
cutoff 3-bet shoving with? Can we see the cutoff? Ah,
at the
this is
moment we're
done.
in second place technically. So I'm like, is it better to hang on?
Not if they get out of line,
How are we blocking the
because
bottom
then
of
you're
his shoving
lining
range
away 10 big
with
blinds,
tens?
and they get a big stack.
these 3-bet shoving ace 10, right? Then
No,
then when we
no,
have two
look at-
10s, he can have it.
No,
Oh.
look below. He's
Just
only
the
shoving
bad ones
ace
he's
king,
jamming.
right? Isn't that what we just see there? He's shoving
Yeah,
ace king
definitely.
suited, sixes,
Yeah,
fives,
yeah.
fours, threes.
True.
Tens there's no difference between tens and jacks. If he's playing this range.
Oh,
They're
by the
same
way,
hand.
Galen, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, but that's also counterfeiting. If we call with too many tens, then he can shove more. Eh?
Yeah. There's also the hijack has a range still.
Yeah, also. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's really
It's
interesting.
balancing, eh? So we can call with sevens here, you should say, but it's not true.
Does anyone else
we-
call there with the 10s
Yeah,
then
why not?
normally?
I would call.
You would, Louis.
I wouldn't.
This is a
In
In
call.
reality, they're much
Oh,
more tighter ranges.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I'm
I'd have
probably
to agree
calling
with you
though.
there, Maxi.
Yeah.
That's close. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chippy V I'm calling with tens.
yeah.
Yeah, Chippy
Well,
be
that's
100%.
Of course,
I'll
Chippy
agree
V,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
No, not of course Chippy V. I mean,
yeah.
still multi-way. it's,
Multi-way spots are complicated.
yeah, I mean, you also a lot of dominated with your queen.
Yeah.
I'm mucked the Jack 10-0 here out of position.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
folding.
I fold.
Now,
No.
if a low jack, if the low jack folds to 3-bets too much, you could 3-bet him, but I wouldn't call.
No,
Was an easy fold.
I think we
Fold.
3-bet if it's suited,
Fold.
right?
Hold it. Oh, no, it's a call.
Oh, it's a chip.
Oh,
I didn't.
no
Call?
way.
Wow.
It's connected.
Yeah, with
Is that just because it's
4-3 off, then like king 8 offsuit or king 7 offsuit.
What?
okay?
Oh, what the
Well,
hell,
because we're
man?
4-way,
Yeah.
Louis, yeah?
Yeah, I think.
No. It's not because we are 4-way. Heads up, we also call it 4-3.
Final
Really?
table.
I think the fact we are
it was Chippy
multi-way
V.
has to do with it. I think like it gives us a bit of a better price. I'm not sure if it's a call heads up.
Fold.
Oh,
This sucks.
At least we are not dominated if we flop a 2-pair or
Yeah.
straight or whatever.
Do we not need to call this one?
No,
Price?
No.
I
I
guess.
would
don't
think
think
we're
so.
crushed here.
Wow.
Yeah.
think
Oh,
we're
yes,
surprising.
10
We call
behind.
King
Huh?
jack suited here. I would not find a fold with king jack suit.
I don't think
This
I
is
would
a-
find a fold with king jack either.
I'm never folding like ace ten suited on this spot as well. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
call
but he has
this
only
spot.
10 behind, so.
What is
Well,
this
that's a
sizing?
call.
What is this weird sizing? Call this
No,
man.
it's
Are
not
they,
that
are
weird.
they serious?
Fold.
This is an easy
Oh,
call.
cold.
It's probably a monster, and it's monster sizing, keep you in.
No, it's, yeah, but it's the sizing they choose.
That's
I
Bert
said
Stevens clicking it
cold.
back on you.
Fold.
I fold.
Please
fold.
fold.
Fold. If it's suited, I'll call.
I'm gonna 6-4
Yeah, yeah.
calls.
Maybe.
Nope.
6-3 off, get out of here.
I won
Suited calls.
6-4 last indeed. I kick king 6.
Oh, this is a spot where we want to
Raise.
raise it up.
I would
Or
fold
maybe all
because the
in.
big blind is the short
Just
stack.
raise, just raise.
I think all in will be with ace five suited.
I don't think a call's.
Well, which
a
size
bad
would,
move.
No.
let's try to think, which size would
No,
we
it's-
like to use here, right?
The other 40
Seven?
big blind stack opened this.
It's an under the gun
Alright.
range race.
Yeah, we just never play against him.
Yeah,
We don't want to
Certainly
mess
not
with
out of
him.
position.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a fold.
Because of his stack depth.
But ace 5 suited and ace 4 and blah blah blah. The low ones are three bet,
Fold.
Fold.
not
It's a
blocking
fold.
his folding range.
That and you're not priced in for set mining either, so
I'm
you're
folding.
done.
Oh, it's a fold. He's fold.
Fold.
I'm just folding. I don't even play this garbage.
No.
Yeah.
Like I fold.
Yep, I'm folding. If I can't limp call, I mostly fold.
You
Yes.
gotta have some limp folds. You gotta have. Some
Yeah, I have a
limp folds.
couple. I do keep, well, just so they know I have
12
that.
bigs
They think I
deep,
might
I
be
mean,
weak. When I limp my
You know
strong hands,
this-
but I do mostly fold them.
10-2 offsuit is a fold almost on any table in any game, unless
Call,
you know the
call.
guy's never going to raise.
I know.
Oh,
Oh, no,
yeah,
I agree.
12
I agree.
bigs indeed, yeah.
It's not this guy off, yeah.
Yep.
So, alright, I think we are gonna start our hand three.
Farm up done.
Testing, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can't hear
yeah.
Weird, so like when I share my screen, it like blocks my audio. I don't know if that's like a Zoom setting or what that is.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
don't know why. Maybe your full screen is talking and not if you share
Yeah,
only
well-
a part.
When I had it on full screen, it was actually working, I thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with it all.
It's software. Sometimes you don't know.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's like in computer, sometimes you can do the same thing twice and get a different result.
Yep.
And that's the definition of being crazy. Doing the same thing twice and expecting different results.
I
From
did
a
want
computer,
to,
yeah.
I was trying to share a quote. I don't know, I feel like it may help the study group kind of guiding through some of this. I shared it with Louis the other day. It was from a webinar. And it's one of the backbones of my strategy is I don't trust myself. Trusting your subjective experience is a really good way to lose a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
I bring this up because sometimes like when we get into discourse about some of the hands and things, I hear things like, you know, oh, well, it does this. I see it does that, but not in my games, or, you know, not in the games I play, or I would do this because I think this. And, you know, like, all that stuff's good and fine, but I think, at least for me, speaking from my perspective, kind of like building a strategy off of these tools that we have and adjusting accordingly after that is kind of like what I aim to do. That way, you know, like the quote says, my subjective experience isn't losing me a lot of fucking money.
The hardest thing is to adjust.
Yeah, but then also
Oh.
you have to study your player pool and not
Yeah, it's making it correct.
trust your own
hard, but you gotta
Subjective
try.
feeling about the player pool.
I feel
Right.
attacked.
I'm
James,
curious about this king. I'm curious
That
about
was
the king
directed,
6-0 here. Though, that
directed
is,
directly to
right?
you, Vince.
James, I have a question for you. What the hell are you up to here?
Yeah, well, I
No
was curious.
good.
Like, what is this? What is this flop raise, man? This is wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, no good. No good at all.
I think you probably want a diamond here in your hand. Like maybe the king of diamond would be a bit better of a raise. But this one is wild, man. Let's see if I have something similar at GPV.
So
I
what
agree
was
that
the,
king of diamonds in your hand would make this a million times better.
But
What
what
was
is he
the
doing
action?
with it is
Did he donk in?
There's
or
a
he
min
just
raise,
blind
min raise
blind?
free.
he min raise pre, so
He
Well,
bets
he does have
1/3,
all
and
the
you
aces,
just like.
so you
He
are in
does.
kind of a man's land here.
yeah.
I just felt,
I mean,
I remember this guy and he was just like aggressive. Hell, he was raising every pot. He was, c-betting every flop. I mean, he was just aggressive as hell. So I kind of said, well, we're going to put a stop to this. And I started being a little aggressive back. So that's what happened there.
If you're gonna
the
do
tiny
that,
raise on the flop. The tiny raise on the flop is cool because you can't flat, and he's gonna if he's playing that many hands, it's probably gonna work a lot of the time. So I kind of like it actually, but it's just gutsy.
Well,
It's
if
an
you had
airball
like
bluff.
a worse kicker, it would be a bit of a thing, like almost never, right? But
Yeah, because then you have a backdoor draw.
5% of the time you could get away with this. It's not too bad, I think.
Yeah, queen six is doing it a little bit
No.
with a spade.
Yeah, sure.
Ah, but that's a backdoor draw.
that's what I'm saying is I think if you're going to do that re-bullying thing, you should have at least some vague backdoor something.
Some equity, yeah.
Diamond here with that.
He's got a Broadway draw. He's got a Broadway draw. Come on.
All right,
Hey, no.
good enough, done.
Yeah, but if you have a four, then you
convinced
also
me.
have a real draw. So that's two draws. It's better.
All right, you've convinced me.
I think this is a fold.
Yeah,
No, I don't like flatting. I could.
But
I
that
could
against the
three-bet
same
him.
guy, yeah.
it's a free bet or fold.
The 3-bet or
I was gonna
fold.
say, you guys don't like three betting this hand. This is like a pretty trashy ace. You got a great blocker. You guys are pretty deep.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna be respectful. I
Yeah.
like three.
The deeper you are, the less likely I am to 3-bet it because then you're still going to be deep after you 3-bet, which is a problem when you're in the small blind.
I'm the exact opposite. Let's-
Okay.
But the problem here
should-
is with the 8 in our hand, we're blocking the bottom of his opening range. If we had the 7 in our hand, I think would be a lot better.
That's a fair point, Louis. I'm gonna just pull up a chart real quick and see if I can find something comparable.
I think the deeper we are, the tighter we should be with our free bets as well, right?
I mean, I just always
That's
fold
generally
ace
what
eight.
I
I just
what I
always
do,
fold.
yeah.
I always fold ace eight off versus an open.
We are some 2 tables left, 3
That's the
tables left.
button, that's the problem. I would call. probably.
So my thought is you're gonna wanna construct your three betting range with, like your suited wheel aces and then the aces that can get better hands to fold. So like if you're getting ace 9 offsuit to fold or, maybe ace 10, it's a pretty big win. But, I could be very wrong here. So a rough estimate.
It's one
of
pip
what-
out, so it can't be bad. I usually fold it.
That looked pretty good. Ace 8 is showing as a pure call on mine as well, Louis.
That's a chippy V.
Yeah, these are GPV. We're gonna.
Yeah, but also
see
his
what,
raise is smaller, so we can.
ICM chart says.
So I've got an ICM chart. The cutoff has 54 big blinds. The button has 32. We have 42. The big blind has 22. The range construction is the top of your suited aces. So like ace, king suited, ace, queen suited. Then it chooses almost full frequency, ace 7 suited and below. So your lower suited aces. And then
Okay,
there's
that's
mixed
right.
frequencies of ace 10, ace 8, ace 5. So offsuits. So it does pull, this scenario does pull from ace 8 at half frequency.
Okay, so we have a nice three bet
If
here.
you wanna give me a hand, I can put
Likes
it in
the
for
lower aces, even A7 and
Is this-
A6.
Are we in an ICM spot here now then?
Yeah, it does pick from ace-6.
Yeah,
Are we in an ICM?
Yeah, we're at ICM.
Right.
In that ICM chart you're looking at, does ace 8 ever call? Is it a mixed frequency call raise, or is it a mixed frequency fold raise?
You don't have a very prominent calling range. Only 5% of the range is actually calling here. And that range is completely comprised of like your suited Broadway hands.
Okay.
So like your Jack 10 suited, your Queen 10 suited, these type of hands do a lot of calling. Your pocket 8s, pocket 7s, ace Jack off at mixed frequencies. There's not too much calling.
Okay.
Now, that being said, we are covering the opener there. On a situation where we have like 22 and a 54 is opening, it prefers jamming a lot more, and the offsuit branch just folds pretty heavily. It's ace 8 off is folding.
So we give action here a lot. We should raise.
Yes, at this stack depth, especially when you can threaten Dr. Nuts' stack. I mean, it's effectively all in for you both. He's going to have to fold
A
your
lot,
aggression.
right? Can he
often.
call us with ace queen off? I think he has to fold it, right?
That's a good question. I'll look at the calling range because I did not look.
If you're talking about if we jam ace 8 off here,
Yeah.
It's final table, right?
Yeah, we don't
I
jam for
would say
50.
you're not jamming. You are too deep to be jamming. It should be not all in sizings.
so
No
you're
way is he
talking like
folding ace
what,
queen
10?
off, Louis.
10
No way
bigs?
is he folding ace queen off to a free bet.
The button open 2x, right?
No, I mean to a jam.
Oh,
So his response is not very much calling at all. It's either jamming or folding. It's calling 3%. Like hands like ace jack suited, ace 10 suited, the ones that, you know, I guess you kind of want to see a flop with, it's calling. But 6s plus, it's raising. All your suited Broadway, it's raising. Ace queen off, it's raising. King queen off, it's raising.
So what size
that's
do you
pretty
raise to then?
These are jams. After you face a 3-bet and you're from the button, I mean, we're looking at, I mean, it's 30 big blinds effective essentially. So there's not too much
That's different, huh?
wiggle room. Yeah, not too much wiggle room past that. Yeah, if it was a little bit deeper, it may be a different story. I can check first the cutoff. Cutoff is 50 effective. Well, we're 40 effective because the small blind's got 40, but it may be a smidge different. Okay, versus the cutoff, way more calling. It's calling almost 40% of the range. Raising.
Because our stack is then also at risk.
Correct. Yeah, that's the big difference here. This is number
So
one.
in this situation, we call more probably because our stack is at risk also.
Perhaps.
Or at least it's not that clear that we raise as much. Let's say we can't put that much pressure without.
Well, something I can do.
Put us under pressure.
I can look at an equal stack just to kind of see what the typical response is at equal stack.
Yeah, if you have an even stack with 40 bigs or something like that, or 50.
That's a good question. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can find something very comparable that's deep.
Let's see if I have.
So I've got 40 here. This is a 40-40. And we'll see what the typical response is. So verse RFI, we're in the small blind versus the button. There is a more prominent calling component. So 10% of the range calls, 5% raises, and another 5% jams. So it's split very much so. And it's split with your worst suited aces are jamming. All of your offsuit trashy aces are all raising, not all in at mixed frequencies.
Yeah, but that's 40, and at 50
This is
probably you don't jam. I think at 50.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Let me see if I got there's a couple here that might work.
I don't have big ones. I'm looking at what I have, but I don't have them.
See, the ones that are a little bit deeper, they're big blind versus button situations, and I know it's just gonna be calling a lot more there. It's not as incentivized.
Yeah, it's cheaper to call.
It is cheaper to call.
And not
So
to worry about the big blind behind you.
maybe
HRC
five.
just wants to fold it.
Oh, yeah?
HRC is a good one too to look at.
Can you share the screen, Ken? Just wanna see the HRC matrix real quick.
It wouldn't, I tried to make it go all in, he wouldn't even choose it.
No,
And I stopped running it. It's 3-bet some, but it's losing money.
What, in an ICM spot? It's no good, Ken.
This is his setup, yeah.
Right.
just show the matrix then. Don't do everything again, Ken, please.
Also, something I think like,
Now we can't see the matrix anymore.
Early when I messed with.
I wasn't really aware that range composition changed much when it got to ICM, to be honest.
Oh boy,
Change it.
there's a
Oh
lot.
boy, you have a lot to learn there.
Well, no, I know that obviously we're looking to ladder up pose, but it's like I still thought that, because I know that our stack gets shorter, normally we raise wider, right? when it's chippy V.
PVE, yeah, but not here.
Not here.
So as soon as we get to ICM, then we become tighter again with our free betting. That's what we're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, we need like an
It
ace
depends a
blocker.
lot on the situation. It depends if our stack is at risk or not. For
Like,
instance.
you
Yeah,
want
of
to go
course.
for hands like ace 4 suited, ace 5 suited.
We don't free bet no more.
And you want to like try to push the equity in your favor, for example, on spots where, you have a spot where you normally call. You want to go all in with your blockers because like you want to avoid running the hands and get into spots where people cannot run the hands.
Yeah, that's especially if you are medium stacked. Then
Yeah.
you don't want to run any hand.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
basically
exactly
like you avoid calls.
Yeah.
And you avoid like, you make sure that when you put chips in, you're all in. Simple as that.
So what I'm hearing here is I should have just folded the ace 8.
Yeah,
Definitely.
probably yes.
And okay.
That's
also,
probably just very close. I mean, it's not a very big
I
mistake.
do have one more thing to kind of comment on. So when we're like, I know we kind of like look at the EV of some of these hands in a vacuum where we'll look and say, okay, what's the EV of this hand? And kind of thing, and like, it's often losing, and we kind of draw an assumption that, okay, if it's marginal, we don't need to choose these hands. A lot of the EV of the top of our range, like one thing we're missing, I think, is the EV of the top of our range, like our aces, our kings, and these best hands is only so profitable because we're balanced with some of these other hands. Where like, if we're only playing the top of our range a certain way, like think about it in game, if you just fold, you're not gonna get played back at quite as frequently with the top of your range if you're not as balanced, just because you're not opening as much,
Saw that yesterday when I was playing, right? I mean, I
Well,
was hard
right.
dead to watch somebody get a big hand, and I haven't played a hand in 4 orbits, and everyone's just gonna fold. I open under the gun, and they just like snap fold, boom, 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 they all fold.
Right, so like, yeah, I mean, and that's kind of how it's disguised and it's described, that this concept's described as like being card dead, so you're not getting action. The importance of making sure that you have some of these trashy hands in here that are blocker oriented is so you can get paid with the top of your range and fully realize equity.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that's true. If you get folding too much in it, then they say, hey, there's a nit. I'm going to fold to him if he.
So what we're saying is if we've got a tight image, we should play back in these spots with some of these hands.
Some, correct,
Yeah.
some.
Or open with some of these hands.
So another way I think about, especially.
Raise with some of those hands then, if you have a tight image.
Another way I think about the small blind is when I just call, I expect the big blind to come in a lot. So now I say, okay, how is this hand gonna do at a position versus two players. And if I don't think it's gonna do very good, I ain't fucking putting a chip in the pot. I don't think 8-8 off performs very well.
I would rather raise than call on DT.
Yeah, raise or fold. I mean, I'd just rather a fold most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But I
there's
don't
another
hate, like chip EV, it's 1 pip out, so I think it's probably better to raise.
there's another concept there also, like, you gotta think about when a button opens, what is the majority of the range doing from the small blind? Like, you should be playing that very aggressively, because when you call and the big blind is not asleep at the wheel, he's gonna recognize how capped you are, and you are gonna get squeezed so frequently. And it puts the pre-flop raiser in a bad position. They can't just, continue because you flatted in it. I mean, you're just creating a really advantageous situation for the big blind to steal chips from everyone very lightly.
Now, as the big blind, if you're making that decision, you're gonna take a look at what your big blind 3-betting range is against the button, which is already pretty wide. Are you going to squeeze that full range? Are you gonna squeeze wider than that range? Or are you gonna squeeze like 1 pip less than that range?
So
Which is still
I
pretty
would
wide
look
for
at-
squeezes.
You squeeze very aggressively.
I would squeeze with the blockers.
So squeeze even more than your 3-betting range.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, you should, and it should be aggressive. Like, I mean, you shouldn't have a ton of like non-all-in sizings probably at that stack depth. I mean, we could look at a couple spots, but I know for a fact, last coin bro right there, if I am Tay or James Tay or James Tay, flats here, he should be piling chips in very frequently.
30-40 for sure, indeed.
Alright, what do you guys think about this spot?
Situation.
I think it's a free
What's the
bet,
open size here?
100%.
2.1. I get it right.
This is a hand that doesn't play necessarily well post flop, out of position, so I'm gonna be jamming this very frequently.
Yeah, chip EV, it's always all in, right?
It's less than 30, yeah, because he's effective.
Why are we not just free betting this? Why are we jamming?
Maximum pressure.
So the thing about 3-betting is, how does ace jack off play against a 4-bet?
It doesn't. We can still fold,
Terrible.
right?
It
Not
plays
with
like
ICM.
absolute garbage as a 4-bet. And if you were to 3-bet fold this hand, that's equally as disastrous because you have drastically shifted your position in the tournament and
Right.
hindered your ability to make money at this point.
How do you feel about just
And-
folding? I mean, just
Too
fold
No,
big.
you can't fold. It's too good.
If you are folding this hand pre-flop, you
range.
really gotta look at the you gotta look at your ranges. This is, you can't fold this in this
So
spot.
this Pio's telling us to rip it then, Louis, because I know you're flashing over it.
This is a chip EV. We're gonna have, we're making
chip
an
EV, we
ICM
rip it.
response right now.
I think at ICM, we're more incentivized to shove it than,
Yeah.
I agree,
because
Scott.
we want to give him. an
So like
ICM
looking at
headache.
that chip EV model,
He
looking at
came
this chip
under
EV
pressure,
model,
indeed.
even if you applied I don't know, something crazy like a 40% risk premium, which it's not even that high. The fact that ace jack is like right in the middle of the red there, I mean, it is not gonna be a fold. It's just not gonna be a fold. It's not gonna be a call.
What-
It's gonna be.
what if there
jamming.
was somebody that was like 5 big blinds right now?
Oh, easy jam.
You just
Even
run your
more of a
equity.
jam.
Right, because remember, he's looking at the same thing you are.
So
If
say
there's
you
a
have
5
a
big-
guy with 5 big blinds here and you go all in, I think he has to fold ace king off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, like everyone thinks that you can be tight in these
You have
ICM
to look
spots.
more at if you jam, it's his risk premium that you worry about, not your risk premium.
Right, correct. That's correct. Jeff. Yep.
Want to see the HRC?
Yes.
I can't believe we just don't free bet this hand. I don't get it.
We just go all in.
Because
Yeah.
then he can go all in and we have to fold.
Raise folding this is like a nightmare. And I think raise calling a 4-bet is equally as bad.
Dicey.
Yeah, I
HRC.
wouldn't call it 4-bet. I just can't see
HRC.
why we're not folding it to a 4-bet when it's
HRC.
it's ace jack offsuit.
It's
I
even
don't hate
calling.
having a raise fold range. I don't think that's a bad strategy. I just think it's the wrong hand class. Like if you want to raise fold something, pick a trashy hand like queen jack offsuit or something.
Yeah, it's raising better hands and worse hands, but it's calling actually, Galen. So
Ace jack's pure call.
Yeah, see, I mean, I can wrap my head around that, I guess.
Alright,
I just
click on the all in, please.
but don't 3-bet.
And then click on right click it. And do the best response.
That's only all in then.
Now give me the
What?
EV for ace jack off. Hover over it. So 10% table equity. It's not great, right? We're still making more money with when we call.
We even make more money if we 3-bet.
What
They can
about
almost
aces?
twice as much calling.
What about aces? Yeah, we're far away from aces with this play.
So like, I don't know the answer to this, but like, I know HRC basically is just a math machine. You give it the inputs, it runs the most profitable lines you can kind of play. I mean, does it necessarily take in like the EV? I mean, okay, so if you look at it in a vacuum.
Not future game. It's not using future game if you were talking about that.
Well, yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to wrap my head around here, where it's like, you run ace jack here, you're still going to lose chips, you know, over a small aggregate, a reasonable amount of time. And I'm not sure if like over a small sample, it just becomes more profitable, like in some of these ICM charts kind of indicate.
100 million samples.
See what hands in this spot, right? Because we're saying we're roughly on 30 bigs effective, right? If we 3-bet this guy, we're not putting more than 30% of our stack in. So I can't see any reason why we don't have some 4-bet folds and some hands that we're 3-betting and calling off an all-in to a
Yeah,
jam.
no, it doesn't want to do that because
We have
when
that,
you
but
3-bet,
ace
Larry,
jack is not in there.
when you 3-bet, you give the gun to the other guy. He has the ultimate response and he can shove on you and steal your 3-bet. And then if he shoves on you, you have such a tough spot.
You give the gun to the other guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
what you normally do is
is.
you
It is
3-bet
what it
better
is.
hands and worse hands than ace jack, but not ace jack.
I don't think he's shoving many hands worse than ace jack when he 4-bets all in there.
Now hover over the 3-bet.
It doesn't matter. We have to fold ace jack, and ace jack doesn't want to fold.
3-bet small. It's just the line right above. No. We're the big line here. Oh,
What hands are we 3-betting?
Oh, we're big blind?
yeah, we
And
were
not-
the
and-
small blind, I think.
We're saying that we're not having any 3-bets here other than
We
aces
have,
then.
but not a lot.
Hang on, I will check.
And
Position are we? No, we're the big
Because-
blind.
Alright,
We
so
can't have
cutoff,
many if we're jamming.
opens, big blind.
Yeah, the 3-bet range, 3-bet to 7 big blind. Click on it.
was
Click.
he in the cutoff or the button?
Alright. And then right click and do best response. Right click the range and do best response. Yeah.
What do you think that this is doing, Louis?
The best response, it's
Yeah.
so you want to pick a spot that you want to play in a certain manner. It's gonna tell you you can play kind of well with this matrix.
So the best response here is to, oh yeah, if you want to 3-bet, then this is your 3-bet range. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, but yeah, okay.
But it's
So
always
we've-
gonna put more combos and the one we choose the best response from.
See, this is why I get kind of like mentally critical about HRC, just because I'm trying to like
I
understand.
wouldn't do this at all because I don't look at this.
Yeah,
The best
I
response.
don't think anyone's constructing a 3-betting range at a final table 4-handed with 6-4 suited.
I mean, you're talking about an ICM situation. If you're willing to 3-bet ace jack off, all in there, a 3-bet all in, what's he calling us with? A better hand.
I
No,
hope he
he's
That's
doesn't.
the way I
not
see it.
calling, Barry. That's the key. He's not gonna call if we shove.
Well, he's going to call you with any premium hand, Louis, isn't he?
No, he's supposed
would-
to fold very, very big, especially if there's other big, short stacks around.
I mean, this is
If
the
he's
mixed
ICM
strat-
aware.
This is the mixed strategy here.
Just for fun, look at the calling range of when we go all in. So that we see what is the calling range, actually. This is what you normally call.
Yeah, so he's folding ace queen.
You're
But
getting
that's about it. Everything else calls. Everything else
No,
is
no,
ahead of
no.
us.
No, he's opening 23, he's opening 24% hands. This is his opening range.
And
Yeah.
he's calling 4%, so it's, you have a pretty good profit here.
it's pretty
Right.
efficient
Yeah.
over it.
But this does consider post flop, so I mean, I guess it's more, that's why I say it's more profitable to call with certain hands, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Cause you're getting a lot of worse, when you raise, if he's opening 24%, look at all the shit he's folding. You're folding out ace 10, ace 9, ace 8, ace 5, all this shit in
Those
here.
low suited card, aces.
All this stuff you're dominating, you're getting to fold.
If you open this, that, I mean.
Well, I mean, it's, solver land.
Right, and
Yeah, I
and
know.
assuming that he's,
Hey,
and of course,
Louis,
assuming he's ICM aware.
if I remember right, this guy was very, very passive. Can you turn the HUD stats on and look at that?
If he's very passive, then don't shove. I think.
Let's adjust his calling range a little bit and run again and see how
Yeah,
the
but
thing's gonna change.
nice. You don't know.
Just curious.
I just leave everything.
Let's say he's going to call 100% ace queen and nines, and just see how much does the difference will be.
And
for
then
us.
That's the other thing. I mean, I know there's the shorter stack, but obviously this guy, we're playing for most of our stack against this guy.
I'm gonna lose my audio while I run this, so I won't be able to hear or talk, so I'm just gonna run this and then, be back.
now we are in the subjective spot that Galen talked at the beginning at.
Oh,
Right.
We finally have a break from.
Don't do that.
Yeah, basically, like, you gotta be kind of careful, like, when you start.
James, I was standing up, filling up my coffee. What was your question?
I said, can you turn on the HUD just so we can see his stats? Because if I remember correct, he was very passive. The
And
mule
what
guy.
do you mean
very-
by passive?
Like, I don't know.
Opening
21
tight and folding a lot, or what is he doing?
Oh,
No,
he's-
like
he's a
21-9.
So he PFR 13%, so he is a nit.
He's a nit.
He's
And
an
but,
aggressive nit. That
I
never
tar-
pre bets.
No, if he's 21-9, he's not aggressive.
But what's the sample aggregate? What's the sample?
I said he's 20-13. We only have 56 hands. though.
Okay, so like you're building a you're adjusting like an overarching strategy based on a very small sample.
Yeah.
Again, Jordan would tell you, this is a great way to lose a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. And it is an ICM spot, so he's supposed to be tighter. So,
He is supposed to be tighter.
Yeah.
Which is another consideration that, there's a lot of variables. Like, we don't know what kind of adjustments he's making for ICM. Like, he might need to be playing this tight. He just may be running into like crappy parts of his range over a small sample.
Yeah, he could be in a lot of tough spots and be tight. You don't know. Indeed. So don't do this at home. At least be careful.
So if he's calling a bit wider, this would be our shoving strategy. So if we think our opponent is not folding ace queen, this should be our strategy.
I just cannot shove ace 5, ace 4 suited.
All right.
Okay, so you're saying I should have just jammed, is what you're saying.
No,
When he's that much tighter, it doesn't want to jam anything.
Yeah.
When we tightened his
I'm
range,
just
I
saying,
took out all the mixed, I took out all of his mixed opens. Reduced his range by about 8%. And now we're not jamming anything. Ace, king.
Okay, so it's more of a call. That's surprising. It wanted with the original matrix, I noticed it was jamming more like ace five suited, ace four suited. Ace king was in there. So probably too strong to jam. Surprising. All right. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Oh.
So we get an ace. Big blind defense. So button versus big blind, ace eight, eight. Is this more of a call or is this more of a raise? What do you guys?
We have very few calls, so I have a feeling this is gonna call since it's just so good.
On a paired board, it might be more of a raise, huh?
We probably only call in these spots. We usually only call like, I mean, with an ace on the flop, probably like 5 or 6%, and this just might be a call.
I think that's a raise. I think it's.
It very well could be, because we do raise. I mean, our strategy is super aggressive. But I just, though there is a small calling range, I think this might be in it.
Isn't this a pretty typical way ahead, way behind sort of spot? Although the button's range is so wide that we're probably ahead most of the time.
Yeah, we're ahead all the time and he has to fold to our raise. He has,
We don't want him to fold, do we? Because we probably have him crushed, right?
yeah, we have him crushed or he has us crushed.
Well, we don't have ace jack in this range for some reason.
Yeah, because it's three betting at
The
GPV.
3-bet pre-flop.
Oh, a chip EV, right? So you have to put it in.
Yeah, but if we look at other aces in the same category, like ace nine, ace eight, but here
Well-
ace eight, my board
Oh.
here is ace four, four. But we are raising a lot with our.
Well, here's my point. Our best aces aren't worried about, like, I think the stronger aces are, the closer you're gonna get to a check. Because we just, there's nothing we have to worry about. Like these need,
Well,
like ace nine kind of needs protection. If he has an ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, ace king, we can
Yeah,
get
but
called when he pairs.
Look at this, Ken. Ace deuce, ace three, the weaker aces are calling and the stronger aces are
Well, because
raising.
they don't have an over to the 4.
Yeah, but it's still the same thing. The lower your aces, the more you want to lean towards calling, the higher it is, the more it wants.
We
to-
only, our bet, we always, okay, yeah, we do always raise usually our best top pair. In this case, it's ace nine, so that makes sense. So I guess we might just raise ace king.
Yeah,
All free.
so this would be more of a raise. On these pair boards very often, we want to mostly defend by raising. Oh, okay, so we call again. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Oh, that's not good.
You should have let him punt, I think.
I think you're
Because
right.
When you do this, you only get called by an ace. And sometimes you're lucky and he has an 8 and he decided not to fold it. But
You only get to
have-
do this when the equity shifts in your favor. And like,
Yeah.
if you think about the ranges, this isn't really one of those spots.
yeah, now you really look like you have an ace. It's like you're turning.
And
your
I think it's also a
ace-
spot where like, what's your bluff when you take this aggressive line?
Yeah,
You've been in a condensed range that's calling down against his polarized range, but like what's your range doing this? It's just nutted.
And also,
If
like,
there was a
don't
jack
you
out
want
there, it
to-
wouldn't be such a bad play, right?
Don't you want him to show, yeah, if there was a jack out there, this is what you would wanna do, I
If there
think.
was a jack, I'd probably block bet.
Yeah, or block bet. Yeah, maybe not such a big bet, but definitely lead.
I don't.
there
think
was a
this is
jack.
ever a lead whatsoever.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, the jack does complete some straight, so I mean, it might be like a block bet spot.
Well, if the jack's out there, we've got the biggest boat on the board, so. But he ain't
That's the
going
only
nowhere
reason
with an
I
8 or an ace, is he?
It's not about the rest of the range. The rest of the range is folding. It's about stacking an ace at that point.
Yeah,
probably gonna
or an 8.
Well, we can't really stack an ace, right? An 8,
If he-
I'm sorry.
The hypothetical thing was if he was a jack out there, yeah, I mean, This situation, I think you just check and let him blast, because if you jam, he has no bluffs.
Also,
And, I mean-
you're never open jamming here.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you
we use a
decide
block
to
bet
bet
size
this
on
spot,
these
yeah,
textures.
yeah, it would be a block bet. And then it wants to do it with spades. So you're busted flush draw. Oh, we don't have a flush draw here. Hmm.
No, we've got a slightly different board.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have a pair board that is similar.
And we can get Eric, and we can get value. They have to call like maybe they could fold eights if we jam, they still gotta call, or if he has like tens, gotta call a small bet. Whatever, like if he has pocket jacks, pocket queens, like they can't fold to a small bet, I don't think.
No. In fact, some
Technically,
players have
I
come
mean,
over
in
the top,
solver-
right?
In solver lay, they might not get the fold. I'm not really sure, but
What? Is this? Alright, let's move on.
so he doesn't even have pairs, the button on the river,
On
pocket
the-
pairs.
On the, if we follow this line, and no,
I think he calls.
we'll see. No, he folds.
No, he folded.
But I do prefer, like, if we see here that most of the aces are checking.
So you think if I check this back and he,
Sometimes
you
he has
think he's gonna
bluffs.
be jam?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes he's gonna bet, sometimes he's not, but I mean, when you jam, you just really turn your hand face up, and it's really unlikely you're ever gonna get chips.
Yeah,
And the problem
Okay.
here is as well, is if he shows up with ace 10, then it's a disaster.
Oh my god.
Doesn't matter.
That's
If he
that's
has
another
ace-
reason why the shove's not good.
Yeah,
No,
if he has,
it doesn't
if
matter
he
if he
has
has
a
ace
better
10.
ace, I'm just.
If he has
I'm
ace
getting-
10 and he shoves, we call. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
Yeah,
We're
the
getting
other way
stacked.
round, yeah. But we don't want to be shoving here because he could show up with ace 10. If he shoves and we
No.
call, it's not so
Mm,
bad. We keep him in with his bluffs.
And he might
You
be
think
like,
he
me- he
could-
might be like me and go for value with eights full.
That
Like, I
also,
can't help myself.
Do you think he
but
could
take-
ever jam something like, queens here?
he's supposed to
Or-
like jam with his busted spades.
Oh my dude, if you're you should not be jamming queens here.
No, I'm not saying him. Do you think, I'm not saying me, I'm saying him. Do you think he could ever jam like queens there or?
Well, I can tell you this,
No.
he can't ever jam queens if you jam into him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, probably not. But I mean, if he's a blaster, like he could show up with all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so you never know. Some people lose their shit, so you can get lucky that way sometimes too.
That's why I just want to in game, I would definitely just let him have the rope. And hopefully he throws it over the tree and hangs himself.
in a hand, not this kind of board, but with the same question at the end. So let's say ace high board, the ace doesn't pair. We don't, it's not a full house board, but we hit our obvious flush on the river. When we bet out, we're out of position. We're turning our hand face up. But in that case, we kind of have to because any thinking player is going to check behind.
Well, there's a couple mechanisms there, Scott. There's a couple
Yeah.
mechanisms, right? So like, it depends on what kind of betting action they were doing, first off. Second off, it depends if there's an equity shift on the board. So like, if a
Huge
higher
equity shift, the flush comes in on the river.
yeah, the flush comes in, you will see some large donking and stuff like that in a
Yeah.
GPV environment.
I think
Okay.
if you get a feel for the player, if he's just blasting and he seems to be doing it quickly, there's a chance he would blast the river if you
Yeah.
check to him. But like you say, a
And
good thinking player's
you know
not
what?
winning.
He could even just bluff small too, like he might, cause if he says, okay, this guy probably doesn't have an ace, he could probably actually use the small sizing for his bluffs.
The table tilter, the one thing that you were saying, the other things you were saying make sense, but the one thing I wanted to correct you on is you keep saying, I don't want to jam because he might have ace 10. And I'm saying you can completely ignore that because
Of course.
yeah, so don't worry about that part of it at all and go with the rest of your logic.
It's more case
Hold
of
on a second, guys. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna make a comment. We weren't at the final table before.
Nope,
Okay, so I ran those, ICM spots as the final table.
Oh my
Well,
god.
I didn't run them as multi-table, so they could be different, completely different solutions.
yeah. I thought it was ICM. I did ask the question.
Well, we are ICM, but there's a difference between when I run the engine, there's a final table
Yeah.
and then there's multi-table.
Of course.
Yeah,
And
but
I didn't run multi-table.
yeah.
The
you
difference is
ran
because if-
ICM, I saw it.
Yeah, I did, well, yeah, but I didn't run
Okay,
multi-table.
it's a good matrix. It's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and the difference between final table and multi-table is if final table is a jump on every time someone's knocked out? Or is it just the
Yeah.
jumps are bigger?
Well, when you run multi-table, it shapes the amount
Fold.
of his average chip stacks for all the players remaining. It kind of figures it out, you know. There'll be other short stacks of other tables. There might be some other big stacks, bigger stacks, whatever.
Okay,
Shove.
Shove all in.
Damn.
yeah,
Mm.
with the 25s behind shove.
Yeah, now you have to kind of call off if somebody jams and you're playing for half of your stack. So this is the spot where I prefer to jam because when you three bet like this, you just hand the gun over to someone else. And
I
someone
agree. You
else
could have a
can
three betting
jam.
range, but it should be
Like-
really nutted.
Maybe with the aces we can do this. Whatever.
The hand that, I assume that's because for the two people behind us, if we jam, they fold the ace queen. If we limp, they might consider jamming the ace queen. We have to
Definitely.
call and we don't want to run against ace queen. Ace king,
Definitely.
we're getting all in anyway. But it's just ace
But
queen,
also,
right?
we can size down a little bit here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
we
could-
can size down to about 5.
Yeah, like 5. I think I'm often like 5.5 here in a super high ICM spot.
Yeah.
In position, 20 big blind, 5.5 or 5 would be really good.
Is there any other hand other than ace queen that we want to, that we're protecting ourselves from in the small blind and the big blind? From
I mean,
jamming?
honestly, even them jamming, like, we're not super excited to run against like ace 5 suited. It's like we will run it, but
Yeah.
it's not the best.
Okay,
Yeah, this is what we want to avoid. Running
Yep.
hands, but this is probably strong enough. Ace
we were
king
gonna run this
has
hand anyway.
Such a big
Yeah,
sweat.
we don't mind there though, Louis, against someone that we've got covered, right? It's the others, isn't it?
No, I think we have a pretty big risk premium here. If we look at stacks. Say we have 44.
Stack.
If we
That's
lose
small.
20 big blinds to him, we are now the shortest stack. And like a middle-ish stack like this has like a lot of risk premium.
But if we jam pre-flop, which is what you're saying, how we should have played it, right? If
I-
we jam here, he's still calling off, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yep,
but
this
you
hand's
fold
going.
maybe ace queen off.
With this very combo, he is, but he's folding a lot of hands that we don't wanna play against.
But he's gonna fold everything else, right?
Yeah, like, for example, he opens king, queen off here, we stuff it on him. He has two very live cards, he's gonna fold. Gonna be great for us.
Right.
Whereas now, you know, when you do this, you just hand him over the guns, it's like.
But we never folded to the short stack, right? Not when we got him covered, right?
And
But
fold
not,
jacks.
not with this.
No.
Not with jack.
So should he shove queen king in this spot?
No,
Open
I don't
shove.
think he should shove. I don't think he should shove king queen here. I don't think he ever should, right?
See, I'm calling
Yeah.
him off with 9s and 10s too. At
So
16
then
bigs
he's
effective.
open folding there.
There's 20 bigs, he shouldn't shove indeed.
But what you're
Yeah.
saying is, if it rather than three betting, I should just, or rather than three bet small, I should just jam.
I think so here.
But what if there's like a 40 big blind stack here in the big blind?
Then
do
you
we-
shouldn't. Then I don't think you should be jamming, right?
There's
What's
some
that?
hands you still jam. You still can, I mean, your 3-bet jam range just is constructed a little bit differently. There's some hands that you're fine running 40 big blinds with.
I think this is one of them, right?
I think jacks, ace, queen, offsuit are like the top of that range.
Okay,
There's not like a ton of them. Ace, king offsuit, those type of hands.
so it's a bit less risky to jam ourselves. Oh, this is such a close one. This is a call.
One question,
calling.
did you say jacks and ace queen were the top of that range? Or did you mean the bottom of that range of the jamming? range?
Shoving top.
No, probably the top, because you're not gonna jam aces and kings, right? Like,
correct. Ken's correct. That's the top of that range. It's not a very
Oh,
prominent
okay.
part of the range at 40 big blinds. You're not jamming a ton of stuff, but those type of hands do jam.
Okay.
It is a 25 effective, Galen. It's not 40.
Correct, correct.
So
They were-
if they were 40 effective behind, then how are we playing the jacks there then?
that's what I was explaining. That range scenario with the ace queen off, the jacks, that's a 40 big blind range.
Yeah, I'm saying if the player's behind, because obviously in that situation the guy had 18 bigs, but if the guys behind were 40 bigs effective as well, same as us,
Right.
are we still free betting the jacks, or we jamming, or we calling?
Right, so I'm just gonna do verse R5. I'm gonna look at a cutoff opening and a button range.
With king high, this might be a good bet. If you're getting ace highs to fold, this might actually be good. Even it's like his low equity bluff. Yeah, we hit the 7. It's nice. I think it's good.
I think this is really nice. Let's see if the solver likes it.
You put him on a lot of pressure. He's not this.
You block a heart, which is nice. I think this is really good.
Yeah. Plus, we might not have that great showdown value.
Yeah, you also don't have to
ICM,
go
he's gonna,
very
he
big.
can't
He's
float
a
light.
lot of risk premium.
He can't float light for ICM either. You're right. Like, he's not gonna wanna just put chips in and hope he hits him. You know, he hits and when he hits, he's got a better hand.
King 9 might be high up in your range. That's king is good.
Right, so what you want to do here when you start pairs, you want to bet very big, so geometrical. And then you want to use the card of the suit. So here, king 9 will have a card of the suit from the back door. So look here. Here, the back door is diamonds and it's picking every single diamond and it's betting it big.
And notice it never uses an ace.
Yeah.
Cause we wanna get ace high to fold and ace high is often, you know, we're still decent.
Exactly, so
Yeah.
never use ace high as a bluff, especially if on low boards like 4-3 deuce.
Correct. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, this is a good play. I like this play. And
So what?
So
Yeah, go ahead, Gal.
although to be very like in line with the solver, we need to bet bigger.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
small
this
bet.
is,
And I'm surprised. I would have bet small, honestly, and I didn't realize it would be a big bet.
Yeah,
But you're also
you
like,
want to
like
put
these
his stack on the.
80% or 87%, like it's the same, right? So it's.
Is this
really
chippy
going
V
for
or
that.
ICM?
Well, it's chippy. V,
ICM.
but It's gonna be, I've noticed that.
I mean the spot, Louis. Ken on the table.
Oh,
ICM.
ICM, we're playing ICM.
Okay, sure, yeah. I still like sizing up to put this stack at risk.
Yeah.
so
Now,
we need to look at 15 though, right? Like this is 20. It's gonna change it a little bit, I would think.
I would have bet 3 or something like that. 4, 3 now.
7 deuce. Single raise pot. What are we in? The big blind versus
Hijack.
EP hijack? And it was 7 deuce 2 rainbow. Okay.
Jack, 7 deuce.
Yeah, Jack. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't hate betting small here. I think in game I do more small donking,
I would,
but I mean, I don't hate
It's what Bert preaches, huh?
so like, I'm gonna probably
Small,
bet,
small.
I'm gonna probably bluff
Jam
small
river.
again on this river because I feel like he's just getting sticky with hands. He probably should have folded already. And
what was
just-
his flop sizing, Louis?
Check, check.
Checked on the flop.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, that changes everything. I do like a large turn bet.
Yeah,
and if we make a large turn bet, does that mean we're bluffing only one time?
I think so.
Yeah,
Right, and if we make a small turn bet, then we're considering bluffing the river.
I would bet.
Yeah, but
like
it's
half
not,
pot on the
not
river.
ever, even at like, we looked at 20, we looked at 15, it's never really picking the small size here. If you're gonna
Yeah.
do it, you need to do it clean and well and once probably.
Yeah, it's definitely waking
Yeah.
up with a lot of large donking, even at 15.
Say we do
Some
it,
of the
and get ace size to fold, and if he ever calls, bring random river,
If ICM, you should fold all aces.
not this one.
You know what's funny is it's actually just jamming. It's open jamming some hands.
I agree. That was Russian, right? Okay, so if he calls the big bet, Scott, finally, we're not gonna give up on any turns.
Alright,
Yeah,
you mean
me
rivers
So we're just gonna mostly stuff it and pray. Stuff and pray.
on the river,
But on the river,
not on the turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the river. If he calls the big bet on the turn. Or the, like, the other side, whatever. We are going for it, no matter what, on almost every river.
Yeah,
Strategy.
just checking when the flush hits, right?
And then let's see
Yeah.
with our particular hand. We have here king nine offsuit with the card of the suit. So here that would mean king nine with the nine of diamonds. Let's see.
This
the
is a good
hotness.
bluff for sure.
Big
well,
king,
there's quite a few busted draws still as well.
nine of diamonds.
Correct. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like
There's
you
a
should
lot
be
of
a lot here.
Oh.
yeah, busted straight and flush draws.
we jam
Alright.
the diamonds,
So we.
we
with our
jam the
part-
9 when we get it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
we either jam a diamond river or if we get a pair.
So yeah, we do a lot of giving up,
Yeah,
right? Queen is in, the ace makes sense. The
yeah.
queen is the interesting thing.
Well, what's the texture? The
It's
queen?
diamonds.
Oh, that's a
it's-
diamond. Never
Yeah, yeah.
mind. We jam all the diamonds and then we
And
give
then-
up. Yeah, no, we give up almost all the time.
Yeah, with this combo,
Okay.
we actually give up a lot,
Yeah,
but the range wants to go for it.
10.
right.
No, right? It was 10 or was it a 5?
Oh, it didn't happen. We were just, now we
10.
hit the 10. 10 is one of the ones we don't give up on.
No, dude, yeah, you got a you got a nut straight blocker. Like you're just, and you got king high. You're going bananas here.
Yeah,
Alright. So.
Are we on the final table now?
Yes. So this one would be a rip. All
Yeah,
in.
it should have just been a jam. Yeah. But I did buy. I don't know what he did though.
He
Yeah, he
jammed.
He
jammed.
jammed over top and then I just fold. Suck.
Right, it was a frisky hand. Ooh, I'm not sure about this one, though.
I
Mm.
would fold.
I
Is
think
it
you're
a
supposed to.
limp or a raise?
I would jam if he was shorter. He's got 20 bigs. I don't want, I would just fold.
You could just raise here.
Let's
I think you're
see.
supposed to.
Cover him by double, you could just raise.
I sometimes jam those hands you need.
I don't think jamming is good.
I have a king.
I got the big stack. I don't wanna just jam with king 2 and, take a flip. And probably,
Even at
whatever I call it,
No, you're,
It's not going for it. Do you
I
have
think
a similar spot for the small blind RFI?
Yeah, let me check. Hold on. So
I mean, we can apply a lot of pressure on him. I get that, but I still just don't wanna pick this hand. Can't like a 2. I don't want my backup card to be a 2.
Yeah, that's kind of right.
So this is not a bad one. I mean, actually, they're kind of short. We want somebody a little bit deeper. This is a pretty good one. So RFI range from small blind. Yeah, so it seems like the range, when there's heavy ICM, it is jamming this type of a hand.
Okay, nice.
So it's jamming like all of your offsuit ace X and your worst offsuit king X. And then it's picking like a hodgepodge of like suited connector hands. But this is for the blocker reason, probably a good jam. That and he's like, this guy's not the shortest, so he's got a lot of ICM pressure. He's gonna have to fold a lot.
Yeah, so nice little spot.
So what if he was the shortest?
Then you.
His
he
range
was
is
the
like-
shortest.
Oh, you
don't
can't jam
wanna-
if he's the shortest.
Yeah, you don't wanna put pressure on them.
He's
If
got
he's
less.
short, he got nothing to lose, so he's gonna call
Right,
you off like
I wouldn't open 5s here.
no.
I
Bottom
think
line
you're fine.
range is probably like 7s or 8s.
No,
that's
the
yeah.
table
Final
was
table
playing
from early
five.
position.
Yeah,
I
In
think
late
this
position,
is
I'm
a
open
good
fives,
spot.
but right position, I'm not opening the low pairs.
I'm only ever opening low pairs if I know I'm not getting free bet.
Like I would open it from, I don't really like opening it into the bigger stacks either. There's two bigger stacks in the blinds. So I'm
Yeah,
not
but
gonna.
they're
open
they're
this.
in the blinds. You should open into the blinds. This is a beautiful spot to open just a little bit wider because the middle stacks are all to your left and they're handcuffed. And you're going against the big stack in the big blind, so you have an advantage here.
Comes down to the aggression table of the table as well. If you're
Yeah,
gonna get free
like-
bet, you don't want to open.
I wouldn't open if the button has 70 big blinds here, but this is fine, I think.
I think pocket fives is not an open here.
It is if the table's not gonna free bet enough.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
What's your
So that's
range
a hard
answer?
question though. Like,
I'm gonna
how
run
do you
it.
know if the table's gonna three bet enough or not? How do you know those answers?
Well, you've already been sat here for a while, so you should already know the players. You
And
know
we
if
are
they're
final
aggressive.
table now, right? Before I run this?
And you gotta remember, they
Yeah.
like the blinds, they don't want to three bet you. They're not gonna three bet you light, just they're out of position and you have a threatening stack to their stack. So it's not like they could, unless he's absolutely cuckoo, then you could let this go. But I think this is fine. You could open this. Even though the 5 is not great at a final table, I know that.
I think
If they
this
don't
is
free bet
final
you, it's
table.
fine. You could open any pair here if you didn't think you were gonna get
And
free
you open
bet, and you do
two
that.
X, right?
Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
open this if the big stack was on the button on the cutoff, because then he could three bet me lighter. There's nothing I could do about it, and I'm gonna get three bet a lot more. But versus when they're in the blinds, I think people are more cautious because you're in position, you have a stack that could hurt them. I think they're just gonna play way more straightforwardly.
Isn't
run
Johnny T
except-
incentivized to three bet here?
He is incentivized, but I think he's gonna not as incentivized to do it from this spot versus say if he's on the button.
Yeah, next
See,
hand he's
players
gonna
can-
be three betting more. This hand he played cautiously.
Players can put a lot of ICM pressure on here, the bigger stacks, right? But not the whole player pool does that.
So-
So I think you need to just know the players on your table at the time.
Yeah. But
You can't tell
weird-
me you're not going to raise this if these guys are all playing straightforward passive. You're going to raise it.
Feel like I'll read the quote earlier that I read. One of the backbones of my strategy is I don't trust myself. Trusting your subjective experience is a really good way to lose a lot of fucking money. Like, you don't know these things. Like,
Yeah.
you've played with these guys like an hour or two. You know, like they just may be running into horrible parts of their range where they're not able to, and they're playing 100% correctly.
Exactly.
you
But if
just-
they start free betting you, you get out anyway. So
Ken, are you running the hand?
I like that quote though.
Mr. Keppel? No answer from Mr.
My audio doesn't work while I'm in this.
Oh, okay, so you are running it.
He's running it.
But I mean, the other thing is we're also bottom of range, so getting away from it is pretty easy too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the very bottom. But I just think that if we're going to play like nits when the table are playing like nits, come on, we know if they're playing like nits, we should loosen up a bit, right?
Well, this isn't even really loose, right? This is just bottom of the range type of hand, right? Like
Yeah, but it's
fives,
ICM
sixes,
pressure.
sevens.
It's ICM pressure, isn't it? So we know we should be careful with the bigger stacks. But if they're not free betting enough, we should be opening.
Yeah.
I think we've got to find a balance, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that is a good strategy.
Well, you don't want to play tight on a tight table. That's for sure. That's one thing I do know. At any level, we shouldn't be playing tight against other players that are playing tight.
I think that's not true in ICM land, in ICM final table land. I could be wrong.
I think when you're
I think you gotta have a feel for the table as well. I
you
don't think
want
you can
to
just think
open
of the
more
sim the
when
whole
your
time.
opponents are tighter, so they fold a lot. But if they're passive and they don't three bet you, but they call, then opening wide is bad.
But I mean, this isn't really that wide, right? Like outside of ICM, we're opening all pairs from the low jack.
I mean, just speaking from like a cash game perspective, okay, so what kind of adjustments do you make when the table calls a lot out of position and things like that?
We tighten up, but we loosen up when they're not calling or free betting.
I raise with a more linear range if it's tighter, more linear range if they call a lot.
If it was 6 max cash, we'd open with 6s standard, but we'd go looser than that on a tight table, right?
Maybe perhaps.
So it could be a marginal open. And it's fun to see the difference between like ICM range and then the chippy V range.
Uh,
I can show you like what
they're pretty similar, right?
No,
I see.
I mean, we're not,
if we see here, we have more hands and then Galen, I'd like to see the matrix you wanna show.
oh, there's more. Yeah, we open all the bottom pairs, right? Obviously.
I'll show real quick. It's kind of like, okay, so like maximum EV or maximum ICM pressure occurs when stacks are equal. So like, here's a 6 max table, 25 equal stack. An RFI range from the low jack at this range is like mixing 6s. We go down to like 20 effective, mixing 8s, it's getting tighter and tighter. 17, like 9s are just open folding at some.
Very nice, man. Very fun to look at.
Ooh, this would
So
be
the
something
more
to know.
effective we are, the more we are likely to be able to open it, right? So if last one, everyone is 40, no, everyone is, click on the last one. The last 10, yeah. I think we're gonna be able maybe to open 5s, yeah, exactly. So it has to do with effective stack. If everyone is very deep, we can open it. If everyone is a little bit short, spicy.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement because.
So it has to do
Yeah,
with
well,
average
when-
stack here. Average
when
stack
we
is
get-
high, we can play.
Yeah. When we get shorter, obviously we've got worse implied odds, right, as well. So the small pairs are no good.
I don't think it's implied odds. I think you just want to block them from rejamming on you.
Yeah.
When you're short, you just want to have hands. That's why it's opening most of like the ace X hand. It's not even opening 8 because the 8 blocks nothing. And if you have a king or an ace, it just blocks them from rejamming on you.
There's some truth there, Sam. There's a lot of truth there. The blockers are way more important when we get into these ICM scenarios.
Yeah.
Alright, very nice to look at.
That's good.
So here, given effective stack, I think
22.
we could open at some frequency, but it's probably better to just fold.
It's safe to say this is probably the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's a great
What's our
result.
big blind defense strategy on final table? Is it the same like GTO or just tightening defending ranges?
It's a lot tighter.
Yeah.
Depends on your stack size.
What do you
How
guys
much?
like to do here? Because
And the other stack size.
I kind of like to go all in here.
This is a good hand to do that with. This guy should be pretty respectful. I mean, this
He
hand
opens
has
it,
poor
yeah.
equity realization, but decent equity. Raw equity. I think this is a good hand to be doing this kind of behavior with.
I don't like it just because he's one of the short stacks.
You don't need
So
to like
he's-
it, Barry.
I mean, I think you can 3-bet, fold to a jam.
He's one of the shorter stacks, isn't he? So
Alright. Let's see the
Yes.
matrix here.
he hasn't got a lot to lose, this guy, at the moment.
So just like, okay, so a general heuristic here is when ICM pressure is high, it's pulling from, so this is 25 effective. it's pulling from your suited wheel aces, your worst suited wheel aces. So like your ace four suited, ace three suited, ace two suited. And
Yeah.
it's pulling from the worst offsuit aces as well.
If you wanna
So,
share
like,
screen,
I got it.
Yeah.
Let me set it up. Let me, set it up and then I'll, or let Galen share a screen. Go ahead.
I'll share real quick. So like, this is versus cutoff range also. So it's not even the button. But it's pulling from like these strong blocker hands, decent equity realization, or I'm sorry, decent raw equity, poor equity realization, decent raw equity, poor equity realization. And then it's balancing like some value up here. So like your queens, your kings, ace king. Like this range seems pretty intuitive. It is doing a lot of calling though.
Did he
Go to
raise
the
2x or 2.1?
2.1.
Versus button, it's expanding this range a little bit, right? So now it's adding some of these king blockers.
suited kings.
You get some of this suited, some more suited Broadway is now jamming. And like, this is pretty much the same, but you see how these areas are just expanding a little bit. So like, we can assume if we go to the hijack, it may pick one combo here, one combo here. Ace, king, ace, queen, maybe queens. It's gonna be a little bit tighter. Still very much the same, alright, so this is basically the same as the cutoff. So, yeah, I mean, these combos look very resilient as far as the strategy goes around the horn. We changed the dynamic a little bit, so this is 50 versus 50. Let's look at the cutoff. Even at 50 big blinds deep, 50 effective, this guy's got 50 big blinds. You see what it's doing here?
Ripping.
Which is pretty nuts, right? Like, it's pretty crazy. It's just like, his calling range has gotta be so tight though, so let's see like.
Crazy,
First three
just
bet,
crazy.
first three bet, what's happening?
Winning a
First.
lot.
So like queens is mixing frequencies, jacks is mixing frequencies, like these are first 50 big blind jam, like I'm probably realistically only calling this. Seems kind of crazy. Button big blind, it doesn't have a jamming range.
You're folding, are you folding jacks to 50 big blind raise there?
I mean.
If he jams on you, you should.
Yeah, I
I
probably
probably
am.
would.
I'm probably folding jacks there. I mean, that's crazy. 50 big blinds is super deep here. Like,
Yes, I
there's so
know
much,
he's a complete idiot and I might call, but otherwise.
even the hands like that he does this with, they're gonna have decent equity versus a lot of the time. Like, you're not stoked to see ace king or something there, but more importantly, I think it's just kind of like, some of this is like fairy tale land. It's like not all realistic, but I think it's important to understand like what these ranges should look like. So you have an understanding where some of this stuff might be coming from, right?
Yeah. Now let's see
So like,
Ken's matrix.
yeah.
Okay,
Are you ready? No?
yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't really go all in.
Well, ace deuce suited is.
A little bit.
Less all in indeed.
Ace deuce, ace three, so very similar again.
Right, you see these same heuristics, you know, like
Ace king off.
you see some of this happening here. It's picking these same type of hands. Like, strong blockers, decent equity, poor equity realization. I think like just generally looking at that is probably like the way to go about this, so.
Yeah, and look at the three bet small range, like aces, ace, king, queens. And then some little blocker like ace four suited.
Yeah, but
Ace
it's not
off.
UTG who's raising here, right? We're versus
This is
the cutoff.
UTG indeed. That's a bit different.
I thought it was cut off.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
we're
the
big blind.
cutoff who opened.
Wait a second, we're not big blind?
We are
We're
big
in the
blind,
big
we're
blind,
facing
but I
cutoff
think
or
in your
five.
You're not
simulation,
UTG, Ken.
yeah, it's
No,
not.
but that's
UTG.
UTG is, it was the first raise in, right? That's how this looks at it. It's,
No. It's cutoff raising.
It's cutoff raising.
So scroll down to cutoff. Yeah,
I still
Yeah.
think you'll see some of the same behavior. It'll just be more prominent. So like, yeah, now if you
Yeah,
look at
there's more. There's more jamming.
yeah, a lot more jamming. 3 times more.
But
Right,
still,
so-
ace three, ace deuce, ace king deuce.
So like an implementable strategy in game would be recognizing which hand classes you should be pulling from as a pool. And, you know, maybe implementing a randomizer. That's what I try to do. Like every time I get ace three suited, I'm not just saying, okay, I'm all in. You know,
That's a
I'll
good
take
idea.
I'll take a peek at the guy's HUD. If he looks reasonable and it's a decent sample size, I may give him a fair 50-50 coin flip if he gets piled on or not.
Yeah. Sounds like a very reasonable strategy. Thanks a lot, guys. So
Also makes you a lot
this would
different
be a really nice all in.
stuff to play against.
Right, and it's probably a great call at some frequency too. I like calling this hand.
You think you can check raise this one because you have backdoor flush, you have an over and you have a wheel.
I
And it's
agree.
a
Why
paired
would
board.
you?
It's a good small.
And it's a paired board, Ken.
Yeah, they're the boards we're supposed to check raise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check raise a lot on pair boards normally indeed, but I don't know if on this one.
It's got a lot of back doors and an ace.
I'm gonna make it like 3.8 here. At some
Yeah, I'm not
frequency.
raising big. I'm just gonna do like 3x, 2.5x, something like that.
I want this junk to fold.
2.5x I think's nice.
Who's got more
What
jacks
what
here after
size?
him?
What size you go for, Ken?
Our
I'm sorry,
calling
what?
range should have quite a few jacks. He's gonna have pretty full frequency jack X too. I think the equities will run close as far as the jack.
Yes,
Choose
Mark.
the 3. Look, Louis, choose the 3
Proposal,
as
yeah.
that part of the wheel.
Here's the thing, we can
I'm-
put a small check raise in, we're gonna win a lot, and if
No.
they chip, we don't care if we fold here, right? I mean,
We don't care. We don't care if we
Almost no
get blown
calling.
off of it.
If you let me see the board, I'll run it in Odin as well, just to have another perspective.
Yeah, but you got to run ICM sims for this.
the only thing that really changes is the ranges when you do the ICM. It doesn't change. I've noticed that because I've run some in Pio and it doesn't change the strategy drastically. It's minimal. It's like unrecognizable, but the ranges are what is much different. So you have to just input the proper pre-flop ranges and then you put in the payouts and all in Pio and run it. And
I don't think you check
I've
raise this
compared,
hand.
I've compared the same exact spots in chip EV and chip utility. And the post flop strategy is like almost identical.
I don't think you
The
can call
difference is
this.
pre-flop ranges.
So when you
has
say
to
you
be a
don't
raise
agree,
or
Sam,
fold.
here, what do you base your opinion on?
No, I don't think you check raise this hand because it's an ace high. Yes, I agree on pair boards we should check raise, but I don't think this hand check raises.
We'll take a look. We'll take a look, you know, and
I'm not saying I don't
If it
agree.
does, Sam, did
You're
you
saying
think
this
that?
is a fold, Sam? You're saying this is a fold to the bet?
So hearts
Oh, it
and,
does
what do we
wanna
have on the
check
flop?
raise.
Hearts and spades. So the hearts and spades are gonna do it and the rest of the shit's gonna fold, right?
Yeah,
Is flatting
That's
terrible?
the matrix.
yeah,
That's terrible.
yeah. You don't want to flat at all here.
If an ace
No.
comes, you still don't know where you are.
A good rule of thumb for you, Mark, whenever you're playing from the big blind and you're looking at the pair board, you're mostly almost always gonna defend by raising.
Okay.
Only your best ace doesn't raise here.
Yeah,
Yeah. We can call the ace queen, ace king.
So that's what I was saying about the one earlier when we didn't have them in range because it was a different range and I was arguing that we would just call it like we had ace jack and I thought that would be a call. But it
Yeah.
wasn't in range, so we couldn't see it. And I think that probably still holds true. Like here, ace, queen, ace, king, if it was a 10-eye flop, ace, jack, ace, 10, ace, jack, ace, queen, ace, king probably doesn't. Or the ones that can call.
Yeah, we're gonna 3-bet ace, king, ace, queen here. So and we don't have ace jack.
Right, but I
So
mean, if they were in range, they would be the ones that
Yeah.
would call, I think.
so our hand that's most likely to call here is ace 10 of clubs or ace 9 of clubs.
No, I think ace ten still wants to probably raise, but ace queen could call, right?
No, we 3-bet ace queen
But
free
we
flop.
had it, right?
That's
Yeah, like
the,
ace nine's our biggest one we have.
that's the problem I'm running into is I can't really analyze this because
It's
this hand is
raising
back-
everything. It's raising everything. It's not calling anything, and all the rest of it's out of the range.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. If we ran this down to zero, there would be no calls.
Yeah. Alright.
And this has got lots of back. This has got lots of back doors.
Oh, look at this.
Nice.
He's doing. He knows what's up.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
They just don't believe you. You pick up some equity there, you could probably barrel again.
Oh, then
I
the
think you
flush
should down-
completes with
You
a
should down bet
Flush didn't
probably.
complete. It's two-tone now.
No,
What?
flush completed.
Oh, it did. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it's a check.
ace deuce. No, no, no.
It checks
Down
with,
bet.
it checks with the nuts.
Picked
Wow.
up some equity. I think it's a fine down bet. You don't want to be betting large here, I don't think.
No, definitely not large.
Yeah, so bet small.
But what is he calling with our check raise in ICM scenario? It's really tight.
Yeah, it should be
It's
really
nothing
tight.
marginal. It's nothing marginal.
Gonna be a
So-
lot of spades.
But all his pairs can call.
Ace high, he's gonna have ace high, this, he's gonna have like pairs of nines and other things.
Ace
Seven.
five.
7, 6s
Yeah.
he will have.
Mhm.
He won't raise them.
They're on
A lot
final
of players are
table.
gonna have a tight, a lot of people are gonna have a tighter range of this because it's hard to people don't defend this well, this check raise.
But they don't raise back at you, huh?
No.
No, not when they have the good, not, they shouldn't if they have the goods.
Yeah, but
The
also
question-
with 8, 7, 6 not.
So we find in another
Yeah, right.
barrel on the turn, right? A small
You
barrel.
should, you should.
And Galen, you call that a down bet. That's when you bet smaller on the turn than you did on the flop.
Right, so after you check
really-
raise and the board texture kind of shifts, like it's a low card, which is better for your check raising range. The flush comes in. These are like hands where you have locked up equity a lot of the time. So like with your nuts here, you don't want to be piling it in on the turn. You want to be extracting more value. So if you have like a flush here or the bluffs that would go along with it, you would bet small.
Right.
Right.
And if we had the jack, we'd probably still want to keep him in.
And you would jam
Anyway.
the river, right?
Yeah, you jam river for sure.
And also small bet will get a lot of faults because the board is getting dangerous.
He doesn't
Right.
like the flush now if he hasn't got it.
So
Yeah.
like the hands that might jam, I think I'm guessing, would maybe be like your jack
It's a
X
polar
with
board.
with a diamond blocker. Like if you have a jack and a diamond, it may like just pile it in on the turn.
Right. So we picked up equity. This is a double barrel.
Yeah,
Check raise,
Definitely.
bet small. Very good.
this is good. This is good. And he's got to fold like
Wow.
everything. It's not a flush or a jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's
James,
nice.
why did you choose this combo?
Why did I choose what combo?
This hand to raise.
Well, I felt like we had a backdoor flush and a backdoor straight. And that, I felt like it was a good hand to check raise. I mean, that's what Jonathan Jaffe says in his video.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I think
Okay,
there's one concept we are kind of missing with this is like you probably shouldn't be doing this with very many ace high, even though we shouldn't have very many ace high here, period.
You can, the ones that connect with, back, like the backdoor draw.
Doing it,
right? Anytime you have a redraw, you can use your aces. That's why, again, like a lot of high aces.
Yeah,
To complete
yeah,
that.
definitely. I was wrong.
The high aces were already all in, weren't they?
What's
Yeah,
ace
and-
deuce, no diamond doing? Ace deuce off.
All in.
It bets bigger.
Yep.
Oh, ace deuce off.
they want to have a card. of
Oh,
the
no
suit.
diamond.
And
So you
James,
can
when you,
do
when you
it here
listed,
with a diamond in your hand.
right, when you listed, you said it's a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw, and that's what we want on paired boards. It has one more thing. It has an overcard.
Overcard, yeah.
It has
Well-
3 things. You're a genius.
Yeah.
Perfect cat, perfect combo.
Oh. Oh. So usually from the small blind, you don't really want to raise your trash.
I open fold this.
You open fold.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
folds.
Yeah,
Very
I've
good.
been noticing that lately, so.
My small blind
I-
player
I've been
isn't
wor-
good enough to do this.
It's offsuit junk.
Just fold.
Yeah,
This is one we're allowed to fold.
I would bet here.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
bet small.
Let's verify. So, okay. Small
Can't
blind
verify 'cause
versus big
8-4 is
blind
not in
for
there.
me.
I think we have to bet.
So I
It's
feel
gotta
like-
be-
It's,
So
My
we're
problem-
gonna have
Cool.
8-4 off, but we can see like 8-6 off,
Did you
my
open
problem
limp or
is
open
that-
raise?
open raise.
I guess we gotta see bet.
Yeah, we don't want to be calling behind, second guessing anyway, right?
Shitty spot. I don't like this hand, but I think now we got it. We have a spade. I mean, I guess it's not really that relevant, but I think we gotta see bet.
Yeah, we don't want to check call.
Nah,
My
then
issue-
then we gotta
my
try
issue
to
here-
check call.
My issue here is that we have such a marginal hand. Like, yeah, but it's just C bet and everything. Just C bet and everything.
Yeah, when you open from the small blind, you gotta kinda
Marginal's
make a
not
hand,
so
you gotta
bad,
bet, I
heads up.
think.
Marginal's not so bad, heads up anyway,
It's
is it?
a-
If it was freeway.
It's not marginal heads up indeed. It's a good hand. Heads
Yeah,
up.
There's just so many draws
It's your
all over
premium
the
hand
board.
that needs protection.
yeah.
Yeah, so you wanna probably bet a little bit here. And when you bet small, one big blind. Or 30%.
And our rule
You
of
can wait
thumb,
till it trips.
our other out of position rule of thumb, like we raise from the cutoff and the button calls and we're checking most of our range out of position. That's not for the small blind, big blind. That just doesn't apply, right?
It's complete
Yeah,
different ranges.
exactly.
It's
That's what I figured.
White versus white, so yeah, it's different.
Ooh, tricky, but we have the 4 of spade. Think we should bet again.
They go for
Yeah,
value.
we should block bet for sure.
I would go for value still. I'd go like 5 something,
Yeah, I
five.
want
think
to take
this
the
is a
call,
size
so-
up, but feels like it's a size up to me.
I think you
think
could be
that's-
right, Louis. I'm gonna go size up. I'm gonna change my answer.
Check, check. The turn comes the 8 of hearts. We bet. With a lot of eights.
Mostly bet small.
Yeah, so we bet small. He calls. And then
Oh, I thought that was the
deuce.
river.
Yeah. Deuce, the flush completer. And then
A lot of big
Yeah.
betting, not all.
Still,
but
still mostly small, but I go 2/3.
Yeah, I think I like the slightly bigger bet in this spot. Just in case he wants to play up a bit more against the small bet.
most aces are betting big.
And it's another
never
thing I
betting
mentioned a couple
small,
times yesterday, like
Only
while I
king
was
eight is
playing.
betting small.
Most people don't raise back unless they have the nuts, so I don't mind going for good value. And then if they raise, like, I'm gonna fold, honestly.
yeah, the minimum
Yeah,
bet
it's
size
fold.
it goes for here, 60% pop.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
and I would fold if he jammed, like. I don't care.
Yeah, because he's got it.
60 doesn't give him much room to bluff. That's
Yeah.
what I like.
Size up here.
And people don't bluff enough.
Yeah, you want the king to
Ah.
call, so king will call the 60 also probably.
Yeah. And now he can't believe that you donked him with 8-4.
Well, it's his own fault for not raising.
Yeah. King
I would
will
call,
call,
I would call king two. I
That
would
he
call-
checked back.
I would just call king 2-0 in position versus a small blind open, to be honest. Or king
This is
10.
a good.
whatever,
This
yeah.
is a good free bet candidate, isn't it?
I
think
like
it
three
is.
betting this.
And we're on the buttons. We
Yeah,
got
I
the
like
blockers. We got everything going for us.
I like it.
Button versus cutoff. I want to three bet this.
6x.
At Chippy V, it's probably gonna be okay. What about with ICM?
You have the big stack, so maybe, yeah, it's okay.
I mean, I see, I might even like it more.
Oh, well, at Chippy V, it's a lot less of a thing than I thought.
Wow. I thought
Look
that
at the
was
high
almost
jack.
Close
definite.
ace 10 is doing it, king jack is doing it, so it is.
I like it more in ICM. Cause we could apply, we're applying extra pressure.
It's probably close.
Let's see a matrix.
I do like that. I do like that there's an 18 big blind stack.
I know you like your king 9 and king 10 off, Louis. I know you were thinking about free betting it.
Yeah, you can put a lot of pressure in position.
Yeah, he's in third place right now and there's an 18 big blind stack. That's nice.
I would like to see what our 3-bet range would look like here.
Got to be around these type of cards, surely. Because this, we're not calling it.
No, never.
We
a
could
call.
call, we could call, right? I mean,
No.
I like a
No,
free bet.
no,
Not
don't
with
call.
no, maybe with king 10 suited, maybe.
We're on the button, aren't we?
Yeah,
I would never fold.
I mean, I like three betting the most, but I could call too.
can you run
Yeah.
it, Ken?
I'm running, I'm setting it up.
I like free betting the offsuit combo more. And calling with the suited ones that flop better, but I could be wrong there.
And it's 2x open, right?
Yeah, small open.
I mean, it's.
Maybe we're supposed to free
Yeah,
bet the suited
wanna
stuff
have it,
more.
right?
Well, here's the thing. We don't want to, again, we don't want to run the hand. We don't want to run the,
We're not running the hand. It's 45 big blinds deep.
Yeah.
The only arrangement I'm seeing where it's actually choosing offsuit tens to three bet in these ICM scenarios is when you're the clear chip leader and you're pressuring middle stacks.
Well, we're pressuring the middle stack in this particular spot.
Yeah, but you're not clear out of him, eh? So yeah, I have a lot to lose also.
Right, so I mean, this is probably closer, like the ones where we were second place, battling second place, it was like 2 pips tighter than this.
So if he has a 30 big stack, 30 big blind stack, then maybe or not.
So like,
Or is 25 the ideal situation?
I like the button cutoff situation with it as well. I'd definitely be free betting it myself.
Yeah, early positions you don't three bet this indeed. So
Like I wouldn't free bet it if it was one of the early position raisers, but this I think this is a pretty good spot, isn't it?
probably
Go
is.
for it.
It's probably close. I mean, it's not a bad spot, not a good spot.
yeah, I mean, it's, I'll put it this way.
This range looks wacky to me. I gotta go back and look at the setup.
If it's the, it's probably fine, but I wouldn't be getting too much further out of line than this. This is like the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
But
Probably fine.
is it calling otherwise, Galen, or?
It's calling and raising, but the calling range is too
Ken, I
wide.
asked Galen a question, not you.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I'm calling this. Maybe,
I'm just
maybe it
like
should be a
off of
three
He's
bet.
looking at charts, guys.
I'm never calling this, not with these guys behind as well.
Well, that's the case. It's none of the charts I'm looking at have it calling ever. It's either folding or a mixture of folding and three betting in a couple of different arrangements. And I'm looking at some deep spots too, where, for instance, like there's a 10, 40, 46. I can just show you real quick to help. It'll be easier this way.
So due to ICM, you just raise or fold.
So yeah, so like this one, for instance, well, okay, I lied. This one is doing some calling, but this is 10, 40, 40, 60, 40, 40. So you're the clear chip leader. You can get a little more out of line, but it is choosing this combo sum. All right, so 50, 80, 50, 50, 30, 50. So you're basically tied for second with other folks. It's folding or three betting.
So it's close.
It's close. This is 10, 40, 40, 40, 40, 60. So you're tied for second with three other
Yeah, now the whole
guys.
stack is at risk, so that's a bit different.
Right, so
So
now
the
it's,
ace 10 and ace jack come more into play, stronger hand, slightly.
considerably tighter there with that region of hands. So like, this is 50, three betting 30. So it's 30, 30, 30, 50, 30, 50. I mean, King Jack is even starting to edge in folds there.
this is
So, I
cutoff
mean,
versus
like-
button, right?
Cut off button, correct.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're looking at.
I had a vastly different range.
So, I mean, these are just a few different arrangements for different scenarios. This is a really short guy. Again, 4 of us with 30, one guy with 60. So this is the guy with 60. Even the guy with 60 is like not getting too out of line with this combo. Kind of like just foreshadow what's going on here. So like here's 54.
Yeah, sometimes it's
54.
strange what happens. It could be that he's a lot tighter cutoff in that situation because he's really middle stacked.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, if you're in maximum chip EV or maximum ICM pressure, 25 effective, it's like very tight with these offsuit combos. So like,
They're gone pretty
generally,
much.
yeah, generally speaking, like if you were going to make some assumptions and adjustments, it would be with these combos.
You fold
They're
more
very,
than you think.
yes, I would overfold these combos. They're way more sensitive to the different arrangements than like your suited combos here. These guys are very resilient. They stick around like your king tens and stuff like that. Your suited aces, these are, you can't really go too wrong with these, but you're playing with fire over here, I guess is the best way to put it.
So basically, the deeper we go again, the more offsuit combos come into play as a free bet. But the shallower we get,
If I was going to hazard a heuristic, it looks like when you are deep past a certain point, so we'll say like 40 effective, when there is a dangling really short stack to apply a lot of pressure to the rest of the field. Like these guys are kind of gridlocked until one of these shorties go away. These are the kind of scenarios where you start seeing the profitability of these hands come in. So like,
So they must be under a lot of risk premium.
right. So like here, there's a 30, but we're deep, we're 52 effective. So that it's a function of that where you can start mixing in these and they have to be respectful. Here, you're a clear chip leader. So if you're three betting the guy with 22 and there's a 12 and an 18, he's got to be rather respectful. So, you know, you start seeing these offsuit combos coming in. Queen Jack, full frequency. But
okay, interesting.
So I think what I'm seeing is really interesting. And you're playing with mostly equal stack sizes. I can't see. Is this the case?
It's not equal, Ken.
So are you looking at spots where both blinds are shorter than the cutoff and the button has the largest stack?
There's a couple.
That's important here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want the button to have the biggest stack, the small blind both blinds have to be shorter than the button and the cutoff.
Yeah, that's what he's pointing at now.
Yeah, there's a couple scenarios like this.
And what's the buttons range look like in those scenarios?
So the buttons range is really pulling from your offsuit ace-X.
Oh, I can see them now, but yeah, I have a way different range. And HRC.
And I mean, these things drastically change. So it's like, this is the same
Depends a
one.
lot on the configuration indeed.
Right. So like the average chip stack here is the only difference here. This is 30, 30, 30. This is 40, 40, 40. And if you look, that extra chip average here completely changes the EV.
Well, I think what we're missing is, I think what HRC is, what I think I'm seeing the HRC is the fact that cutoff and button both have the largest or the bigger stacks than both blinds. The blinds aren't incentivized to play once the button gets involved.
True.
So the button is fucking playing like, what was it, 40-some% of hands.
Yeah.
40, it's playing 50, over 50%, it's playing 51% of hands.
But is mostly raising or calling?
Well, no, it's raising 10%. It's just calling a lot because once they come in, I think the
yeah, but what
deal
is
is once they call, once the button calls, the blinds are disincentivized to get involved.
What is the EV of those spots, Ken?
Well, I mean, you have to look at them all individually, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Can you share your screen, Ken?
Yeah.
Want to have a quick look?
And put on the calling range and then click on EV.
You gotta let me share. You gotta let me share. You gotta let me share.
I'm sorry. There we go.
Okay.
You stubborn son of a bitch, Louis.
Yeah. He's not folding, is he?
So this is the cutoff.
Please go to the button. That's what we're talking about. I mean, they don't
So the
know.
cutoff's open range, and then the button. Look at all this stuff it wants to defend. And
Yeah,
I
click
think
on
I-
EV.
here,
Yeah, you go very fast and we can't see anything that way, or not a lot. So a lot of those hands are 0 EV. I mean, it's not King 6
Right,
off,
right,
King
right. But
7
my
off,
point, I think
Queen 8 off, Jack 8 off, 10 8 off.
Right-click it
I think the
and-
reasoning is because the blinds don't want to play once we get involved. So we get to expand our range
Yeah,
quite
but
a bit.
do you really think that you should play those hands?
Click on right click and do best response.
I don't think we're supposed to play all that.
So
I mean, you
remove
think
a
you
little
have
bit
the
of the
slightest
marginal
edge,
combos.
dump a lot of those hands.
But then again, we have got the button, so we should be playing more hands on the button than anywhere
And
else, right?
both
blinds
blinds are shorter, so they want us to battle and knock one of us knock one the other one out or cripple the other one, and they could just sit there and their EV goes up.
I
And
agree
why
that
is
the
there
clip-on is
no
under a
all
lot of
inside for
pressure,
the
but
button?
that's also-
I think you need to rerun it.
There is
and
all
add-
ins. Oh, no, he doesn't want to raise all, in. There's not gonna be an all in at 40.
I would like to. Like,
No,
can
you don't go all
rerun
in,
it, Allowing it.
So there's it's set up that if it has to be over like.
Almost no all in. I mean.
Percentage of the pot for it to make it go all in, so this wouldn't be an all in situation. There wouldn't be an all in,
But would you
unless you
mind
wanna
allowing
change, unless you wanna change the metrics to make it jam wider than it should.
Would you mind allowing it? So we can just look at,
Yeah, then we have to wait again.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. So, so like you see here, the all in threshold is 40%. And this is kind of like, you don't want to, go all in when it's over this, basically, but I can make it, I can give it the option.
yeah,
We were talking about doing that earlier on with Jacks, though. We were shipping 40 bigs
It was a different situation, huh?
because of the effective stack, or
Yeah.
you have a space.
Always look at the effective stack and not at what you have yourself.
yeah, but the cutoff's got a yeah. I see
lose
where you're
my
coming
audio.
from. I see where you're coming from because it was. I think it was for like 20 something, 20 bigs.
Yeah,
effective
25 or
before.
something like that, if I remember correctly. At least,
But it was the two guys behind though, Joe's. They were like 40 bigs behind us, yet to act. But we were talking about jamming the jacks on the button.
sometimes you do, but there's not a wide range jamming here. So I
No,
don't
it's-
know what Louis is looking for here.
Right.
It's a component. It's not like a prominent thing, though. I mean,
Yeah, it's
you
not a
should-
prominent thing. I mean, yeah.
should be jamming 40 big blinds, just.
It's not
kinda
gonna let me
little-
go all in unless I change the percentage.
Yeah, you can set it up to do it. I mean, it's not that.
So like one thing.
Cost a lot
I
of time to do it correctly then.
Josh,
Right,
what,
so one
what
thing
would I
we
set
like
the
to-
percentage at to force an all in? I'm not sure if I want to go up or down.
I think down 10%.
So make it like 10% here.
Yeah, if it's 10% or you stack the 3-bet, then it should go all in now. I hope you clicked on another field before you do that, because maybe it's not updating. Otherwise,
What did you say? I lose my audio when I start running it. What would you say?
just wait and run it. I mean, it's okay. And you can run it in one go again. We talked about that.
Can run it what?
In one go. You don't have to reset strategies. Or you, yeah, doesn't matter.
Here we go.
So how is HRC developing these ranges again? Like, how does it?
What it
These
does
aren't
is it's just a random sampling flops and turns, etc., and then saying, okay, this hand in this flop is better, for instance, of wins, and then give some points for that. Let's say it that way.
I see. Yeah. Okay. So like there is an element of randomness to it. That's why you need very large samples.
Yeah.
And like, what other kind of constraint parameters have you guys put in? Like, cause that could be also driving some of the responses here that.
Depends on your 3-bet sizing, etc. But now it's not having a 3-bet sizing, for instance. That's also completely different again. That's not what you want.
Right. Well, yeah, you want to let the machine have all the
It
possible.
should, I didn't take the 3-bet size out.
Yeah, but that's what the all-in threshold does.
Well, LP wanted me, I didn't want to change it. He wanted.
Yeah, I know. Where's LP?
Did I say change the all-in threshold? I just want you to add the.
Well, I can't force it to go all in unless I reduce the threshold.
No, you can. You can.
Well, I put it in here.
You didn't write it correctly.
Oh, I put it in the wrong spot, that's why.
Yeah.
I know, that should be there.
It's not a 4-bet, it's a 3-bet.
I put it in here, 3-bet.
This
You're
is
putting it in
quality
the
YouTube.
4-bet region.
Position. Okay, here it goes. Yeah, I'm
This
putting it
is
wrong.
quality YouTube content we're making here, people.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm doing this on the fly. I like to do this ahead of time. But,
But yeah, and this is why you want to do this stuff ahead of time for sure.
Well, I mean, this is
I
what
still
happens when
run
you
my
look
own
at a
scripts,
spot
because I
like
know that's
this.
what happens.
Yeah, doing it ahead of time for all these hands is not realistic.
No, it's not.
We've all
Yeah,
just looked
doing
at a
ahead of
spot and we're
time,
trying to.
okay, we have it.
Doing the study session is also not realistic.
It's in here.
But I know what you're coming from.
But anyway, I really love to look at these matrices.
Oh, 0%, Louis. So far, at least.
Yeah, it's not gonna go all in.
Yeah, maybe a small sliver, but yeah, who cares?
It's not a thing.
Doesn't seem to be part of the strategy. We
But
are
you didn't
also.
saw it in your sims, only a little bit and some spots, but if the stacks are smaller, mostly. It's not what I expect.
Because you're saying that we should never be all in with 40 bigs effective, Ken. That's what you're saying, right?
Almost never.
Yeah.
There are spots, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
And
it's rare.
If you're out of position, then yeah, then you shove higher stacks. In position.
I mean, some of this stuff is the same reason like you see when you play a satellite and a guy's got all the chips, he's just jamming everything in the middle.
Yeah.
When you're near the bubble, it's because of the ICM pressure that's applied to everyone else that they can't really call. Especially like, even if it's shipping, 40, 50
Ace
big
king
blinds.
and ace deuce.
Yeah, ace king, ace 3, ace 2.
Yeah, and ace deuce suited also.
Yeah.
There's a sliver.
And this is almost 50 bigs. So, I mean,
I don't know what the effective stacks are. Is that 15 not? Yeah, cutoff is 47, so it's almost 15.
Also open range. And what do you want to see, LP? Best response on what? When we.
On the 3-bets, I wanna see the all-in,
yeah, it's not a very
right
prominent part of
click
it.
and best response. And then what has, now you want to right click, edit range. And then make the edge 0.08. So it's gonna be the small one,
No,
the top left one,
top left, yeah. That one.
then 0.08. You can move it if you want, yeah, that's also good, okay. And then press OK. So if we wanted to have an all-in strategy here, we could maybe do it with these hands.
Yeah, but then we're only playing 6% fans.
Yeah, but I mean, these 6%, could sometimes go all in. That's what I
What
would.
I
then,
found-
then you can't call and 3-bet, Louis.
Of
Or
course,
at least
not.
less.
You're going all in.
I mean, do we think this
Yeah,
is
6% of
wacky?
hands instead of
Do we
almost
think
50.
this defending range is whacked? Or is this really good because like the blinds can't get involved?
Right click and do the best response here.
I'm not a fan of that defending range. at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, but see now, I mean, we were talking about that earlier, Galen, like we're not, I think we're putting in our own biases here. I mean, if this is really, if this is
Correct.
accurate,
This is not accurate. It's just
well,
something.
I mean, it's
So-
been accurate pretty much on everything else, right? We
Josh,
haven't really
I
disagreed
think you're
with-
pretty quick on ruling out like perfectly fine solutions.
No,
Yeah, you're pretty quick at ruling them out.
no, you're
So-
pretty quick at.
No, because
Thinking
we
that this is
we
good.
saw the pre-flop and pre-flop ninja. It was calling with a very similar range. It was
Well, then,
playing
yeah,
a lot wider than I would.
I
thought
don't.
it
I
would.
agree that HRC is giving us good solution, but clicking on best response is not giving me anything. That's what I say.
Oh, it's okay, Josh. You don't need to agree with everything we do.
No, of course not.
But I think it's interesting. I think the only reason we could do this, and I'm just gonna keep repeating myself, is because the blinds are screwed. Because they don't
That's
wanna
the
get
only thing I
involved,
can
because
think
they
of,
can
yeah.
make money by folding in these spots. So we get.
And we've got the button.
Right.
This is the
We're
key
in
here.
position and we have the biggest stack in play at the moment.
No, we don't. No, actually,
Well,
no.
In the hand, right?
In the
We
hand,
call,
we
and
do,
the big
yeah,
blind
in the
can call
hand.
with almost 40%. Still a lot.
Alright, so we're not the biggest stack. There's Johnny T here.
No, but he folded already. I meant the biggest stack involved in this hand.
Yeah,
like-
true.
But what I'm surprised when it comes to these matrices, we actually have a wider than I expected calling range. Both on HRC and on the pre-flop academy. So it's really interesting to see for me.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
Ooh, I guess I get where I get kind of curious about things is like, when we usually just leave HRC to its own devices and it constructs a range. It's usually like vastly wider than, you know, the
Yeah,
vast majority.
it needs to be tweaked a little bit, right?
See, let's talk about this check here. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I'm just, it's a conversation for another